Alrighty then, what's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Welcome to another rendition of Delete Lawz. My name's ChilleDeCastro. I'll be your host. And listen, I showed, give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. Can everybody hear me okay? I showed the other day, a political video, and people, I'm friends with people across the spectrum. I'm a fierce centrist because I'm pro-choice and pro-gun rights. So I know that sometimes I lean left, sometimes I lean right. I probably lean more left than right. You guys are probably right. But I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people about getting into this left versus right fight. And I tell you, I'm gonna host this with you guys, but I'm really gonna stay neutral because I am a fierce centrist. I don't like the left or the right. I don't like the Republicans or the Democrats. So to spare myself having to have those hard conversations with people that I had to have the last time I did a political video, I'm really going to stay center here. Now, you guys know I don't like new cops. I don't like ICE. I don't like ICE. I'm not down with ICE, man. If you committed a heinous crime, get the flock out of here. But if you didn't, I think you should be able to work because the big corporations are hiring them. That's my perspective. So I've said my piece, and now I'm going to let Pam Bondi speak, and I'm going to let you guys have the conversation. But please, you guys have a fair conversation with each other, and don't be mean. Don't be mean. And if you're going to insult other people in the chat, you're not going to be able to stay. You know what I mean? You guys, you can't be mean to each other. You can't call each other names. But let's listen to Pam Bondi. This is really her time to speak to the American people, and this is her moment. So let's hear what she has to say. And I'll try to stay as out of it as I can.
To testify in front of you today. First, please join me in remembering, as you said, Chairman Grassley, all the Jewish people who lost their lives in the October 7th attacks 2 years ago today.
Totally agree. For all the Jewish people that were slaughtered senselessly on October 7th, whether that was an inside job or whoever did it, it's the loss of life. And I'm of Jewish heritage, so it's not something I look at and go, oh, that was great. At the same time, I don't agree with the genocide going on in Israel, and I think actually in Palestine. So I think it needs to change. But yeah, I think we recognize the terroristic attack, and I think we recognize the ongoing horrible war over there that has to stop by Israel and America.
Also, please let's pray for all the hostages and the families of all of those individuals. They are a critical reminder of our central mission here at the Department of Justice.
I watched part of this already. There's a little bit of her, she gives her kind of her speech here, but it starts about 5 minutes. So let's get into what Pam Bondi has to say here.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Madam Attorney General, let me ask you this question. Were you consulted by the White House before they deployed National Guard troops to cities in the United States?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House.
You won't even say whether you talked to the White House about this?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House with you, Ranking Member.
I noticed that. What's the secret? Why do you want to keep this secret? The American people don't know the rationale behind the deployment of National Guard troops in my state. The word is, and I think it's been confirmed by the White House, they are going to transfer Texas National Guard units to the state of Illinois. What's the rationale for that?
Yeah, Chairman, as you shut down the government, you voted to shut down the government, and you're sitting here, our law enforcement officers aren't being paid. They're out there working to protect you. I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
Been on this committee for more than 20 years.
So do you buy that framing? Do you buy the framing that the way she's framing this, that President Trump is protecting the people in Chicago and that's why he's sending in National Guard from Texas?
It's the kind of testimony you expect from this administration. A simple question as to whether or not they had a legal rationale for deploying National Guard troops becomes grounds for a personal attack. I think it's a legitimate question. It's my responsibility. She refuses to answer as to whether she had any conversation with the White House about deploying national troops to my state. That's an indication, I'm afraid, where we are politically in this place. Let me ask you another question.
I agree there. That's why you guys can tell I have a very neutral tone. I am not getting involved in left versus right fight when I don't subscribe to either one of them. I don't vote Democrat. I don't vote Republican. So
if you will,
it's a horrible political atmosphere right now in our country.
Get the right page of facts here.
And by the way, Team DLZ, put it in the chat. Good to see you guys, man. I love all of you guys. I'm sorry. I just want to, there's 2 hours of this, so I want to get through as much as we can.
You testified under oath when you last before this committee that before your appointment to Attorney General, you had served as a representative of some sort for the royal family of Qatar. There was an issue that came before you in May when President Trump accepted a $400 million luxury jet from the royal family of Qatar for temporary use as Air Force One before it's permanently gifted to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation. The Constitution unequivocally bestows on Congress the power to control whether any officer of the United States, including the President, may accept a gift, quote, from any king, prince, or foreign state, end of quote. And this gift clearly violates the statutory regime enacted by Congress. You've refused to answer a letter I sent to you 5 months ago asking the legal rationale you relied on to advise President Trump to accept this unprecedented gift from your former legal client. Can you make a promise today that you will disclose that?
Disclose what, Ranking Member?
I assume there was a letter or some sort of statement from your office to the White House to advise them that you felt it was permissible?
First, to address my role with Qatar, as I addressed with you during my confirmation hearing.
You know, even at 1.5 speed, because the way Pam Bondi talks, 1.5 speed actually makes her sound.
I disclosed it in my SJQ. In private practice, I worked for Qatar for anti-human trafficking for the World Cup. That was my only involvement, and I made that very clear, and I'm very proud of everything I've done with anti-human trafficking. Obviously, in preparing any advice for the president on a jet or anything else, we consult with the Office of Legal Counsel. The confidentiality applies to their input as well. And Chairman, if you would approve and vote to approve, as Chairman Grassley said, excuse me, Ranking Member, as Chairman Grassley said, my employees, we would answer your letters a lot faster, yet you're stalling them at every stop. And to go back to your previous question, your city has a murder rate 5 times higher than New York's. 571 homicides last year. If you were serious about protecting your people, you would be asking this administration for help. You're saying that we're coming into your state and your city. We're there to help make America safe and Illinois safe, whether or not you want to.
Well, are you going to be safe from the troops in your city? Because we're seeing a lot of collateral damage, and we do have to take a look at that. We are seeing a lot of Americans who are also being arrested.
I believe cutting federal grant programs to law enforcement in my state and across the nation does not make us any safer, and you've done just that. You've supplanted that decision by sending in National Guard troops to California and other places. That is a situation where the governors have not asked for that help. If you truly wanted to do this on a bipartisan basis, you wouldn't defy a governor, you would work with them. I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to work with this administration. But cutting these grants to law enforcement does not make us any stronger as a nation or give us the tools we need to reduce crime in Chicago. Now, I'd just like to ask you, when it came to this Qatar situation, did you consult with the ethics office in the Department of Justice before making your decision on this gift of a jet?
Chairman, I didn't gift a jet to anyone. My Office of Legal Counsel.
You know, and this is the thing for people. This is the great distraction, the left versus right fight, the circus. What about the cost of food? You know, that's what's killing us is the cost of groceries. Put a 1 in the chat if the cost of groceries is frickin' weighing on you. I'm a YouTuber with 675,000 subscribers. And when I go to the grocery store, I think to myself, oh my God, the price of food is just crazy.
Provides confidential advice to the president, to the White House, period. And you're conflating two issues. Cutting grants. I was very clear about what grants we've cut and what grants we haven't. Only 7%. And if you have a grant in Illinois that you think that I've cut that is not that is protecting law enforcement officers or your people, you personally call me and I will work with you to turn that grant back on. I think many of the Democrats here can tell you I have worked with them to turn grants back on. There's an appeal process. Tell me a specific grant that I have turned off in Illinois that would help law enforcement, and I will work with you. But you have not done that.
Did you
and
take
again,
a look?
the National Guard is on the way right now as we speak. Oh, by the way, so is Director Patel and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. You're sitting here grilling me, and they're on their way to Chicago to keep your state safe.
Madam Attorney General, it's my job to grill you. Investigation of your agency is part of my responsibility and this committee. You may not like the experience, but others have weathered the storm and answered questions in a respectful manner.
Can you tell me the grants,
Yes.
ranking member, please?
Take a look at the president's budget on HIDA grants. What happens to it in his proposed budget?
I'd be glad to meet with you on the
It's
grants.
cut by 1/3, from $300 million to $196. That's one example of a grant that works, and your administration has suggested cutting it, and the budget lies ahead. I want to ask you about items in a letter I sent you in July that you have not answered. In February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produced already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin.
I mean, that is what I'd like to know too, because I care about that. I care about kids getting raped by rich elite pedophiles. I care that Trump and I care that Clinton are on that list. I care deeply about 2 presidents being on that list, if not George W. Bush as well.
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files, and I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, excuse me, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo. You also
Then why do the big thing with all the influencers with the binders and all that?
Let me respond to the HIDA question. The budget transfers $196 million for high-intensity drug trafficking areas to the Office of Justice Programs, OJP. The Justice Department will continue to administer those grants under OJP in 2026.
Going back to the Epstein files, according to another whistleblower who made a protected disclosure to my office, you pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump. Nothing came of that review until July when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memo stating, quote, there's no incriminating client list. Why was the July 7th memo unsigned?
The July 7th memo came from the FBI and the Department of Justice Director Patel.
I mean, is this the questioning that you want Congress to ask? I want them to ask about the Epstein list. Do you want that? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know about the Epstein list. Put a 2 in the chat if you
those questions very clear.
You don't.
And, you know, Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2024. You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations,
Never.
who was a huge Epstein friend? Why did you fight for years? Why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did.
Yeah, I think Senator Blackburn would quarrel with you on that.
Well, I will quarrel with you as to read somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reid Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. You won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
I mean, I agree. Covering up for pedophiles is just it. Nothing makes my blood boil more. If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. Do you agree covering for pedophiles is the worst?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, since Senator Durbin referred to me, I would really appreciate the opportunity to correct the record because Senator Durbin knows I repeatedly asked for those flight logs. I brought up the subpoena. You even shut down the committee because you didn't want that, and you know I submitted that in writing, and you continue to misrepresent that, and I am not going to let that record stand.
Marsha Blackburn.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Senator Durbin.
I just want to make it clear that the reason the committee business ended was that your side invoked the 2-hour rule. Point number 2 is I asked you if you wanted any documents like flight logs to put it in writing. You never did.
Yes, sir, I did, and your staff knows that I did.
No,
We'll submit, once again,
send me a
the
copy of it.
information to you. We've done that several times, but we'll be happy to, once again, send it to
disagree.
you. I think your staff doesn't show that to you.
Senator Graham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. So I want to make sure I got this clear. If a Democrat or a Republican senator has a problem,
I don't like Lindsey Graham. He's a snake. I think even Republicans don't like Lindsey Graham anymore. He's really he's a snake as far as I'm concerned.
the grant that's been canceled
It's the war from him thing that I hate the most.
or reduced, you'd be glad to talk to them.
Yes, Senator, and I have been doing that as well.
There have been Democratic members who called you,
They have spoken to my office, yes, Senator.
and you've tried to respond.
On either side of course, if it has anything to do with law
So-
enforcement or victims,
And that includes Senator Durbin. If he's got a problem, he can call you and you'll try to respond.
absolutely.
Thank you. How many illegal immigrants are in Chicago?
Good question.
Does anybody know?
I do, countless.
No, there's a number.
What we have seen since January 20th, Senator Graham, is a 1,000% increase in violent attacks against our ICE officers.
No, but that wasn't the question. The question was how many illegal immigrants are in Chicago?
Right. But I just want to know, is there like 10 or 100,000? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
There have been multiple, and we have made multiple arrests, of course, involving violent gangs in Chicago, throughout Illinois.
Right. So the only reason I ask that is Chicago is a sanctuary city. Do they help ICE deal with illegal immigration, or they're a sanctuary city? Do you know?
They are not cooperating, and I would ask that. I wish Senator Durbin would condemn the governor for not cooperating with our law enforcement officers.
The only reason I mention this, if you're a sanctuary city, any place in the country, you're making it difficult for the rest of us. Because word gets out, if you get to a certain city, maybe Chicago being one of them, that you're home free, and that just encourages more illegal immigration. Do you deal with that? Agree with that?
I do, Senator Graham, and can I add something to that?
Sure.
Please. One of our biggest wins was against the Sinaloa cartel, and that came in Chicago. The
Well,
state of
why do we have cartels, though? We have cartels because we've criminalized drugs. If you get rid of the criminalization, you get rid of the cartels.
Illinois has a Trust Act, which prevents local law enforcement from cooperating with our federal immigration authorities. And that's what I was trying to talk to Senator Durbin about. On September 15th, our partners at ICE arrested an illegal alien from Mexico for beating a 21-year-old man to death. He had been imprisoned in Illinois prior to the murder and was released under Illinois' Trust Act. We filed multiple lawsuits in Illinois for sanctuary policies, specifically in-state tuition for illegal aliens and obstructing employers from verifying citizenship. You can't make this up. On September 5th, a federal grand jury in Chicago indicted a major Sinaloa cartel boss, narco-terrorism, guns, and drug charges. On July 11th, we announced a guilty plea for Ovidio Guzman Lopez. You may know him as the son of El Chapo, one of the worst narco-terrorists in the world. In Senators.
Chicago.
How did that person get so powerful? Because you've criminalized drugs and created a police state, and the drug abuse is no less. It's worse. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democratic president. You've all done the same thing. It's made our country worse. Decriminalize drugs, get rid of the cartels.
In Chicago, he entered a guilty plea to drug conspiracy and 2 counts of knowingly engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise in the state of Illinois.
And Obama gave him guns, and Republicans feed him money, and Democrats feed him money, and the cops work with those cartels. A lot of the cops are working with the cartels.
I could continue with fentanyl.
I could continue
with child predators in Illinois.
Well, thank you. I think I've seen
Right,
numbers
but what about the child predators you're protecting with the Epstein list?
over 100,000. So Chicago and other sanctuary cities, you're making it harder for us to deal with illegal immigration by doing what you're doing. And I am glad President Trump is trying to change those policies. And if you need the National Guard to bring order out of chaos, so be it from my point of view. Now, let's get back to the topic sort of at hand here about how the law is being used politically. In September 2022, Attorney General James from New York basically said in a campaign that she would go after Trump, his business transactions, and his family with full force. November the 15th, 2022, Trump announces his candidacy for president. November 2022, 3 days after Trump announced his re-election campaign, Jack Smith was appointed by Garland to be special counsel to look at classified information, document mishandling, and trying to undermine the 2020 election. In March, President Trump was indicted in Manhattan of 2023, just after announcing 34 felony counts. And what they did is they took misdemeanors and turned them into felonies by using a legal theory that no one in the history of Manhattan had ever been charged with.
Listen, I agree. Trump was prosecuted for bullshit, straight up. It was lawfare. You guys know I'm not a fan of Trump and the tens of thousands of new cops he's hired. That was bullshit.
In 2023, a federal grand jury in the District Court for the Southern District of Florida indicted President Trump on 37 charges regarding classified information. Now, all I can say is that taking a hammer to a hard drive in bleach bit apparently doesn't make the cut. Having documents in the garage of President Biden doesn't make the cut. In August of 2023, he was indicted yet again regarding the 2020 election. So all I can say is that in September 27th, Jack Smith's team asked for my phone records and 7 other senators. Now, that's just the 2024 election. Comey, are you aware of the fact that in August, Comey, then director of CIA,
that's the funny part. Whose side was Comey on? With Hillary's emails and the Russiagate, Comey was just like this very strange political player in all this.
August of 2016 was in a meeting at the White House where it was discussed that by Brennan, then CIA director, that there was intelligence that maybe the Clinton campaign was trying to cook up a narrative that Trump was a Russian asset?
Senator, I believe that has been reported publicly, but I cannot comment on that.
Okay, well, I'm just...
I mean, listen, all that nonsense with the FBI, Putin owns Trump, and so does Netanyahu. And I don't know why. I wish I did know why. But that is what it seems. He owns it, man. You guys have seen it happen on TV. It's crazy to watch.
telling you. Now, this is a campaign for president in 2016. In July, they open up Crossfire Hurricane. In August, they have a discussion in front of President Biden that there's intel that maybe this is generated by his political opponent. Nothing happened. In September, are you aware of the fact that the intelligence community sent a memo to the FBI director detailing intelligence that suggests Clinton's campaign is behind the idea that Trump is colluding or cooperating with the Russians?
Senator, I believe that has been reported.
And that was addressed to the FBI director and Mr. Strzok, this memo. Are you aware that he told this committee, I don't recall that, the FBI director?
Senator, I can't discuss anything.
Well, I can tell you this. What the hell would you recall? You're the sitting FBI director. There's a campaign for president going on. You've opened up an investigation believing that the Republican candidate may be a Russian asset. And now all of a sudden, less than a month later, 2 months later, you have two inquiries, two events to suggest it may be his political opponent. Did anybody in the FBI inform the FISA court or anyone else about this activity that you know of?
I can't discuss that matter, as you know, Senator Grant.
Should they have? Is there a requirement by law enforcement to tell the court if their warrant is being sought or a defendant that there's exculpatory information out there about you?
In general, of course, Senator.
So, to the country, the FBI director gets a memo from the intel community. This may be all a political plot by his opponent. They didn't do a damn thing. Are you familiar with the Steele dossier?
Yes, Senator.
That was a dossier prepared and paid for by the Clinton campaign. Are you aware that it was that document was used to get a warrant on 5 different occasions against Carter Page, an American citizen?
Yes, Senator, and that has been
Are you aware of the fact in February 2017, after Trump is president, the person who gave Christopher Steele the information, the Russian guy, told the FBI the information I
Hey, would you guys do me a favor real quick? Hit the like button on your phone. Double tap. Hit the like button for me real fast.
provided you was all bar talk, hearsay, and not reliable. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Senator.
Was there ever an effort by the FBI to tell the FISA court about evidence that the man who helped prepare the document retracted his statement?
I can't discuss that, Senator.
Should there have been?
Can't discuss that.
You wonder why we're looking at Comey? Give me a break. Why are we looking at Comey? Because he ran an FBI and personally knew about exculpatory information and let it slide. How in the hell can 2 FBI agents interview a man who says the document you're using against a sitting president to suggest he may be a Russian agent or Carter Page that is now no longer reliable? How does that not get to the court? Can you tell me how that doesn't get to the court? You can't, can you?
I can't, Senator. And
Can you tell me why my phone records, when I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, were sought?
It wasn't Lindsay accused of being on the Epstein list? I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't sure if Lindsey Graham was accused or not.
By the Jack Smith agents. Why did they ask to know who I called and what I was doing from January 4th to the 7th? Can you tell me that?
No, Senator, and there were 8 senators in total.
Do you think that was an abuse of power?
Senator, I cannot discuss whether there is or is not an ongoing investigation. If I may add one thing, they also wasted $50 million on what you just described, trying to put President Trump in jail prior to the election.
Or Senator Whitehouse.
Yeah, I love Sheldon Whitehouse and his study on dark money on the Supreme Court. If you guys haven't seen Sheldon Whitehouse's series, watch it. It's called Dark Money. It's on his channel. It's really good.
Thank you, Chairman. Ms. Bondi, good morning.
Good morning.
What became of the $50,000 in cash that the FBI paid to Mr. Homan in a paper bag, evidently?
This is interesting. I watched this. Oh, that's a long pause.
Senator, as Deputy
that's a long
Attorney General
pause.
Todd Blanche recently stated, the investigation of Mr. Homan was subjected to a full review by the FBI, agents, and DOJ prosecutors. They found no credible evidence of any wrongdoing.
She's
And that
reading
was
a
not my
statement.
question. My question was, what became of the $50,000 in cash that the FBI delivered, evidently in a paper bag, to Mr. Homan?
Senator, I'd look at your facts.
Are you saying that they did not deliver $50,000 in cash to Mr. Homan?
Senator, as recently stated, the investigation of Mr. Homan was subjected to a full
A different
review
question.
by the FBI agents,
That's a
by
different
Department
question.
of Justice prosecutors. They found no evidence of wrongdoing.
That's a different question.
Listen, Tom Homan got a bag. I mean, straight up. None of these people will deny that Tom Homan got a bag, got 50 grand.
What became of the $50,000? Did the FBI get it back?
Mr. Whitehouse, excuse me, Senator Whitehouse, you're welcome to talk to the FBI.
The report to you, can't you answer this question?
Senator Whitehouse, you're welcome to discuss this with Director Patel.
Did Homan keep the $50,000?
Yes.
As Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche recently stated, the investigation
never mind.
of Mr.
Never mind.
Holman
I can
was
see I'm not going to get a straight
full
answer from you
review
to a very
by
simple
the
question.
FBI agents and the DOJ. They
you
found
know-
no credible evidence of wrongdoing. You know, you're very concerned about.
They won't. They keep saying no credible evidence of wrongdoing. He got a bag of 50 grand. There's some FBI is always doing dirty stuff. You guys know that. Somewhere along the line, Holman made a deal and he got a bag of money, and no wrongdoing. The FBI made a deal and they agreed on that deal, and the deal's done, and we don't get to know about it.
Money and people taking money, and
Do
you
you
rail
know-
against
wait a
dark
second, wait a
money.
second, wait a
Yet you
second,
work with dark
wait a
money
second.
groups all the time, Senator
Wait a
White
second.
House.
Did you know whether or not in that investigation they looked at whether the 2024 $50,000 payment to Mr. Homan was declared by him on his tax returns?
Senator, I would be more concerned if I were you when you talk about corruption and money that when you pushed for legislation that would subsidize your wife's company.
The questions here are actually pretty specific. So
I mean, she's fighter.
having you respond with completely irrelevant
Right,
far-right
Dan,
internet
but-
talking points really is not very helpful here. I'd like, Mr. Chairman, you generally like to have us be able to get answers, to know, and we'll follow up with the QFR, and to the extent Patel wants to answer, that would be great as well. What happened to the $50,000? Did Homan keep it? Did the FBI get it back? If he kept it, did he put it on his tax returns? Pretty simple questions. Homan was the same guy who said there was a deal with Eric Adams. He said, if Adams doesn't come through, I'll be back. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, where the hell is the agreement we came to? Which brings us to the OPR investigation of prosecutorial misconduct by Emil Bovee, because he was also involved in that transaction. What became of the OPR investigation of prosecutorial misconduct by Emil Bovee?
Yeah, Senator White House, to correct you for one moment, that would be the Honorable Judge Emil J. Bovee III to you.
Not at the time of this. He was an employee of the Department of Justice. And what became of
The revolving doors. And this is the other thing, the gaslighting, where if you question any politician's integrity, they're like, how could you question the integrity of this person? And you're like, well, you're a politician.
OPR investigation?
It's
of
all
his
pending litigation,
misconduct?
Senator. I can't discuss pending litigation nor personnel matters.
OPR customarily publicly says when there's an investigation, and at the end of it, they provide a summary. Why can't you say whether there's an OPR investigation and whether, if it's concluded, there's a summary?
Senator, I'm not going to discuss personnel matters.
Even public ones.
Senator, I'm not going to discuss personnel matters.
So, Kash Patel told this committee that his grand jury testimony after immunization, after initially pleading the Fifth, was, and I quote, sealed by the Department of Justice. How and when and why was his testimony sealed, and by whom?
Senator, I'm not going to discuss any testimony, especially testimony that could be sealed with you.
No, the question is, was it or was it not sealed?
Senator, I'm not going to discuss that with you.
Well, he also said that he worked with the Department of Justice to have his transcript released publicly. How and when was his transcript released? Presumably, if he released it publicly, that's something you can discuss because it's public.
Well, Senator, I believe you discussed that with Director Patel.
And I'm asking you because he said the Department of Justice made this decision and you run the Department of Justice.
I would refer that to Director Patel.
Even though
I mean, can you guys not see the left-right bullshit paradigm that so many people have bought into? Can you not see it? They're ping-ponging drama around what about the price of frickin' groceries? That's what I care the most about. What about taxes on my property? What about that?
you run the Department of Justice, and he testified that the Department of Justice released his transcript publicly.
If it is released publicly, we will get you a copy, Senator, gladly.
If, being a rather important word there, when your FBI director testified that that was a fact. Treasury compiles suspicious activity reports, referred to often as SARS, that DOJ receives automatically. Hundreds related to accounts of Jeffrey Epstein. How many
know
of
about
those
that.
Treasury SARS did you or Director Patel investigate?
Put a one in the chat if you want to know. Put a one in the chat.
Senator, I'm not sure if you're concerned because you took money, I believe, did you, from Reid Hoffman, one of Epstein's closest confidants, not only once but twice in 2018 and 2024, if that's correct. But, Senator, did you ask Merrick Garland any of this over the last 4 years when he sat before you?
Why
This
don't
investigation
I
has been
ask
going
you?
on. This investigation was closed. Did you ask Alex
When
Acosta
you
that?
and Patel came to office, you said you would
They're all dirty. They're all complicit. They're all dirty.
look into this. There were hundreds of suspicious activity reports. Some people would deduce from the fact that they are called suspicious activity reports that there might be suspicious activity. And yet you seem to have looked at 0 of those suspicious activity reports involving Jeffrey Epstein accounts. Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
You know, Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And the senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? You don't know anything about that. Okay?
Of course she's going to say no. I mean, I'm not a fan of Bondi and her hiding the Epstein list, but she's putting up a hell of a fight. She's fighting for sure. She's deflecting and changing the topic and making it about attacking the person questioning her.
Here's what well, no, we cut to something else. The Marshal Service is supposed to protect our federal judges. I have asked repeatedly for the Marshal Service to let me know if they are investigating or being inhibited from investigating whether or not there is orchestration of threats against federal judges, whether under either conspiracy laws or racketeering enterprise laws or aiding and abetting laws, whatever. But as you know, there's the person who says the threat, and then there may very well be somebody orchestrating the threat behind them. Is the Marshal Service allowed to investigate orchestration of threats, and do you know if they've taken one step to do so?
May I answer the question, Chairman Grassley? The time has expired.
I think it's the convention of the committee that if I've started my question in my time, you may answer the question.
I was asking the chairman.
Okay. Before I go to corner.
She wants to answer the question, Chairman.
Oh, please go ahead. I thought you said you didn't want to answer it.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you. Senator Whitehouse, I would be happy to sit down with you regarding any threat to any federal judge.
Whoa! Did she just go up a level here? She kind of lost herself here, didn't she? Watch this.
She wants to answer the question, Chairman.
Oh, please go ahead. I thought you said you didn't want to
I'm going to
answer
zoom
it.
in.
Sorry.
Thank you. Senator Whitehouse, I would be happy to sit down with you regarding any threat to any federal judge in this country. We take threats very seriously. I will set a meeting with you, with Director Seralta of the U.S. Marshals, and I will be there. And we will talk about any threats on federal judges,
including
who threatened them or who orchestrated them.
Bingo. Thank you.
Okay. Before Corner speaks, I get kind of amused about my Democratic colleagues bringing up Treasury suspicious activity reports regarding Epstein. When Senator Johnson and I issued our Biden family reports in 2020, we used information from these very same type of documents. And
let me just jump in. Remember, she's the top cop in America. Every single female cop wants to show you, I will any. She turned into like a little chihuahua with muscles.
What? We were criticized by our Democratic colleagues for doing so, and for years they ignored the evidence of the Biden family criminality. I don't think my colleagues can have it both ways.
Senator Klobuchar, you're recognized.
Thank you. Attorney General Bondi, good morning. I'm going to start on a different subject.
Good morning.
On behalf of families in my state. And I wanted to thank the FBI and the local justice officials in Minnesota, the U.S. Attorney's Office, for the work that they did catching the murder, the horrific murder of my friend, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband, and the shooting of Senator John Hoffman. Just last month, my state was again shaken to its core when a mass shooter attacked Annunciation Catholic Church in Minnesota, shooting through the stained glass windows, injuring 21 people, including 18 kids, killing little Fletcher, little Harper, an 8 and a 10-year-old, murdering them when they're in mass, praying 12-year-olds, protecting 8-year-olds. I know we've spoken about these tragedies, and we both agree that this kind of violence, whether in Minnesota or at a Mormon church in Michigan or the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has no place in our politics or in our democracy. In 2018, after the Parkland shooting, you were Attorney General. And there was a bill called the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act. And the bill banned bump stocks, enacted red flag laws, and raised the minimum age to purchase a firearm in Florida from 18 to 21. And you actually defended the law in court from a challenge from the NRA. And we know that I'm in favor of an assault weapon ban, period. I look at these bills and I think, does this hurt my Uncle Dick in the deer stand? We have a proud tradition of hunting in Minnesota. I don't think they do. But as I talked to Director Patel, and he
could she get her damn thought out of her mouth?
told me.
I mean, all the dancing, Klobuchar. Stop it. Just say it.
In the chair you are sitting in right now, that assault weapon ban could prevent future attacks. I talked to him about better background checks, about red flag laws, and then that perhaps we could find common ground on what actually happened in Florida, which would be to at least change the minimum age for purchasing assault weapon, because we've got 18 to 20-year-olds commit gun homicides at over triple the rate of adults 21 years and over, even though that wouldn't have helped in Annunciation Church because he was a few years older. She was a few years older. But as you know, the shooter at Parkland was 19 years old, and the shooters in Buffalo and Uvalde were both 18 years old. So given your efforts in Florida,
So we need to limit gun rights.
do you agree that at least raising the age for purchasing assault weapons could reduce the number of these shootings?
Senator, first, that's pending litigation, and I can't discuss that at all. The 21 is pending litigation. I cannot discuss
In
that.
Florida?
But if I could go back
I really
the
didn't know
21
this.
age is pending litigation. I can't discuss that. But Senator, back to what you said about what happened in Minnesota. There is no place for that, and I believe I spoke to you after that. Horrific, those murders. And I'm so sorry that happened. And all of my federal agencies were partnering with state agencies, working hand in hand in Minnesota. What I can tell you about the Second Amendment is this is the most pro-Second Amendment DOJ in American history, as you know. But we want to keep guns, as you said, where they should be, in the hands of law-abiding American citizens, while keeping them out of the hands of criminals and gangs. Since January 20th, the ATF and FBI have seized more than 30,000 illegal guns.
I have 10 minutes.
30,000.
You have given these
Senator Klobuchar.
statistics, and I truly appreciate
If she really cared, she'd get rid of the ATF altogether.
those statistics. But what I was just trying to get at was something where maybe we could find common ground on a bill that you actually defended in court in a state, which Director Patel seemed open to, and that was looking at, could we at least raise the age to 21 of the purchase of an assault weapon federally while states look at banning these weapons.
There's no such thing as an assault weapon.
We're all giving these little babies that this gun is used to kill. So we can talk about it later, but that was my question, and you don't want to answer it.
No, it's pending litigation, Senator.
Okay, but your views on this is not pending litigation. So I want to get to the independence of the Justice Department. At your nomination hearing, I specifically asked you to provide assurance to every member of this committee that the Justice Department will only follow the facts and the law, and the White House will play no role in the cases investigated or brought. You stated in response, this was you, politics will not play a part in my decisions. And you also said the Justice Department must be independent and must act independently. Do you believe that you have upheld that commitment?
I absolutely have upheld that commitment, Senator. I pledged that I would end the weaponization also of the Justice Department, and that America would once again have a one-tier system of justice for all. And that is what we are doing in this country.
We saw this with the president directing an investigation prosecution of Chris Krebs, the former head of cybersecurity, Lisa Cook, who is a current governor of the Federal Reserve, Director Comey. And the president, and I know you have said that you will not discuss discussions you've had with the president about Comey. Is that correct? That you won't testify here about that? Because I was going to ask you if you received advice, instruction, or request from anyone at the White House to direct the department to engage in any investigations, prosecutorial actions, including decisions not to investigate or prosecute anyone.
I'm not going to discuss any
Okay.
conversations.
But then how about the Truth Social post on September 20th, 2025, in which the president said, we can't delay any longer, Pam, using your name, not bringing criminal charges, are killing our reputation, his words, and credibility. And then go on to tell you to prosecute a member of this committee, to prosecute the Attorney General of New York, and to prosecute James Comey. Do you consider that a directive to the Justice Department?
Senator Klobuchar, President Trump is the most transparent president in American history. And I don't think he said anything that he hasn't said for years.
Okay, it has been reported that
The Epstein files are a hoax, and he's the most transparent. All right.
you initially pushed back against requests by senior Trump administration officials to push out or fire the acting U.S. attorney in Virginia, Eric Siebert, who's a conservative Republican, who made the decision that the evidence was not there to prosecute Comey. What made you change your opinion?
I'm not going to discuss personnel decisions.
Okay. Is it true that the career prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia found that there was insufficient evidence to bring criminal charges against former Director Comey?
I am not going to discuss pending cases because Comey was indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia by, I may point out, one of the most liberal grand juries in the country.
Okay, let's go on to other firings or terminations. Last week, the Justice Department fired at least 2 senior attorneys in the Eastern District of Virginia, including the office's national security chief, Michael Ben-Ari. It is reported that his firing came following criticism from a right-wing social media commentator who wrote, "One can only assume he was part of the internal resistance in the Comey indictment." In fact, he did not work on the Comey case. Instead, he was working on pursuing justice for service members killed in Afghanistan. How does firing a 20-year national security prosecutor enhance public safety?
Senator Klobuchar, I'm not going to discuss personnel decisions, but the personnel issue that I'm having right now is that all of my agents, all of my lawyers are working. My agents are on the street working without a paycheck because your party voted to shut down the federal government.
Man, she completely avoided the question altogether. But CB, the reason why the Biden administration didn't release the Epstein files is because there's a bunch of Democrats in it too. They're both in it, bro. Republicans and Democrats. It's us versus them, if you didn't know that.
Unfortunately, the House isn't even back here. They're 18 days off the job to even meet with us to come up with a resolution that we would like to discuss with them about saving people's
forgot the
healthcare.
question
Let's
at
move
this
on to
point.
the Antitrust Division. Did you authorize your Chief of Staff to overrule top officials in the Antitrust Division to settle the challenge to the Hewlett-Packard Enterprises Juniper Networks merger?
Senator Gail Slater runs my antitrust unit, and she is doing an excellent job on many, many cases. As you know, that is a pending case.
Okay.
In any merger, just to clarify, in any merger, Senator, there is a deal struck with our office and with the corporations involved, but then that also goes to a court to certify in any merger. In any merger, it's a multi-step process.
Okay, I
and
will
that
ask some
process is
further
still pending,
questions
Senator
about
Klobuchar.
antitrust. I just had one other thing. DOJ can now take the extraordinary step of
Time's
subpoenaing
expired.
journalists. Has the Justice Department issued any subpoenas to journalists under the updated guidance?
Time has expired.
Okay, I'll ask
You
those
may
on the record.
respond, Ms. Bondi.
You can respond, she said.
Senator, my office in April restored the Justice Department's longstanding norm on this issue. It was AG Garland who had deviated on the media investigations policy, allowing self-identified journalists using this self-serving status as a shield against being held accountable for endangering our nation's security. We have taken that policy back to the norm, and I can't comment on whether we have or have not, or do not have pending investigations.
Time has expired. Senator Coons, you're recognized.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn, and thank you to the committee for holding this oversight hearing. Attorney General Bondi, thank you for your service and for being with us. I want to start with an area where I think we have a lot to agree on. In May, your Bureau of Prisons issued a directive to expand the availability of home confinement. The directive said it was rooted in the principle of smart, fair criminal justice reform and explained that smart reform and public safety can go hand in hand, and that second chances are not just possible, they're necessary for a justice system worthy of the American people. There's more to do to implement this directive, but I appreciated the BOP's recognition of these principles. Could you briefly speak further about the work BOP Director Marshall and Deputy Director Smith, himself a former inmate, are doing with regard to reform and what opportunities you see for us to do more?
Thank you, Senator Coons. And you have been a champion of that, and we believe in second chances. As a career prosecutor, I know that most people, even violent criminals, are going to be locked up and then they're going to be released. And that's why we need everyone to be a productive member of society. I believe in halfway houses, and that's part of what the First Step Act did. It gives people a second chance at life, and that's what.
No, you guys, sorry about that. I have very real ideas about how to change the incarceration system that will come out in my book. And when I'm governor, I will implement that change in the incarceration system. Halfway houses and prisons simply don't work. If they worked, I'd be all for them. We've been locking people up in the millions for the past 60 years. How's it going? It's going worse. It's going more terrible than ever since 1982. Sorry, 60 years, 40 years.
What
50
Billy
years.
Marshall and Josh Smith have been doing, working hand in hand at the Bureau of Prisons. I talk to them constantly, and they are working so hard. In fact, they inherited a dysfunctional and neglected agency, and they are taking, despite more than $450 million being appropriated between 2019 and 2024, we found that funds had been diverted away from the Department of the Prisons, the Bureau of Prisons. And so they are doing everything to create more halfway houses and to give inmates everything they need to be successful upon release, but also by keeping...
No, we're not. I'm sorry for interrupting. I apologize, but we're not doing it. We're not educating people where they can really have life skills, a job to get out and do. And we're not doing that. We're not giving them a real education so that it creates a real human being. John Locke's book and some thoughts on education, his thesis, he clearly identified that a man is 9/10 education.
America safe. And I just learned from Billy Marshall, we just made an incredible case that someone, I believe the case was in Texas, one of our federal prisons, no one was monitoring this. And there was someone who was caught with a drone dropping off recently cell phones, paraphernalia,
Let me follow up on that point, if I might.
many,
Attorney
many
General.
things that could cause violence within our prisons and allow criminal cartel networks to function.
Hey, BG, when you have 1,500 people in your chat and you're just talking off the cuff, man, sometimes your brain doesn't work right. Can't just do simple arithmetic. 82, I get it.
Within our federal prisons.
you have no idea
And that's
what
what a lot of this money is going for, to make our prisons safe within, and so these criminals cannot function while they are in prison. But one good thing I can also add is we have given inmates, I think we've over doubled the amount of minutes they can have on their phones so they can talk to their family members, because we believe that is important.
One of the challenges federal probation officers.
Right, but a hug from your mom is not important. You still can't get a visit and a hug from your mother. You have to. They've moved them all to videos now, so you don't get to actually hug your sister or your brother.
Is massive caseloads. And I am about to introduce, hopefully reintroduce soon, a bill with Senator Lee that would improve our federal supervised release system by focusing resources on those who really need to be supervised and providing incentives to reduce oversight of those who've really made progress and who've changed the direction of their lives. It is broadly supported by law enforcement and a variety of policy groups, and I'd love to work with you on that, Madam Attorney General.
Yeah, and Senator, can I just add, because I just got the numbers. So what we have is $8.7 billion for the Bureau of Prisons, and what that does is it adds 587 correctional officers.
Wow, I'm so sorry. And listen once again to what the government solution is. To
help with the things that we just add, because I just got the
Listen.
numbers. So what we have is $8.7 billion for
$8.7 billion for what, though?
Bureau of Prisons, and what that does is it adds 587 correctional officers.
New cops, but zero investment in the human being that we've locked up for years or decades, because it's for you and me. I'm not on the left or the right. I'm center. I'm for America. I love this country. When those people get out of prisons and jails 10 years, 15, 20 years later, they're worse for us, for society. It makes our society worse. And she's going to investigate and invest in 500,000 more cops?
To help.
General.
Yeah, and Senator, can I just add, because I just got the numbers. So what we have is $8.7 billion for the Bureau of Prisons, and what that does is it adds 587 correctional officers to help with the things that we just
I'm sorry,
discussed.
587. I thought she said, jeez.
95 million for new hires. We have to recruit and we have to retain. We know that's a really tough job to be a corrections officer, and
Yeah,
that's why
because it's horrible to lock
Josh
people
Smith is
up.
such a valuable part of that team with Billy Marshall, and I would welcome working with you on that. And President Trump is the one who signed the First Step Act because he believes in second chances. We all do. Thank you, Senator Coons, for that question.
One of the things I have been concerned, even upset about, is how early in this administration, at the behest of Doge, the
Do
department.
you guys see what leadership matters? Do you see how important leadership is? You and I, Americans, I love you both. I love you if you're on the left. I love you if you're on the right. You're my brother. When I pass you in the street, you don't wear a Republican or Democrat on your face. You're my brother. When we go outside, we have to deal with life, right? When we lock people up for years and decades, it doesn't make our society better, my brother, my sister. It doesn't make us a better society. It makes us worse. And we don't invest in them. We invest in cages and guards and bars and cuffs. We don't, I was in jail last year for 4 months, wrongfully convicted, overturned on appeal for filming a cop. The people in there couldn't read.
Cut hundreds of grants totaling hundreds of millions of dollars, many of which serve critical public safety needs, supporting victims, assisting with reentry, violence prevention, including in my own home state. This was literally defunding the police. And I have some concerns about how DOJ is putting at risk public safety by assigning thousands of agents and prosecutors away from drugs, firearms, corruption, violent crime to help ICE arrest people without criminal records. You've indicated a willingness to review any grant that a member of Congress has concerns about and noted a number of them.
It's a cop-off. More cops, more cops, more cops. But how is America doing, though?
Been restored on appeal, and I appreciate that willingness to admit some misjudgments or mistakes in some of the many grants that were canceled. But can you assure us this process is going to be fixed going forward so better decisions are made at the start and not just after appeals? And can you assure us that we are not leaving doors wide open for crime and criminality in our communities and over-focusing on arrest and deportation of those without criminal records?
Yes, Senator, thank you for that question. And as I said earlier, we are reviewing all the grants, and I believe we have, turned some back on for senators who have called. It doesn't matter what state you're from. If it's a law enforcement grant, if it's protecting victims, let us know and we will work with you. And I'm not sure if we have done any in your state yet, but I would be happy to work with you on that. What I can tell you is there have been, out of the 5,800 discretionary grants that were reviewed, only 376 around the country, 7% were terminated. 225 of the grant recipients have appealed that termination. And so far, we've turned back on 18 of those. 17 appeals have been denied. and the rest are being actively reviewed. If any of you know of any of those that you believe should call me, should be turned back on, call me. We don't want to jeopardize
I will be
anything
calling
that's
you.
hurting. Please do. And Senator, to go to what you
If
said
it's for cops, you know, we can make that money happen if it's for cops.
about the FBI and my federal agencies and being pulled to work on
More FBI, more ICE. We have more money. Both sides. Both sides. More money.
immigration cases, they're working hand in hand because we believe that, you know, we have ICE officers out there, as we just discussed. I don't want to repeat that, who are being harmed. We're going to work with them, and I've directed all of my law enforcement agencies to work with ICE to make sure they're safe in Chicago, to make sure they're safe in Memphis, to make sure they're safe right here in Washington, D.C., but also at President Trump's direction. We are not stopping the core function of what we're doing, and that is fighting violent crime. And I think Director Patel made that very clear with all of the arrests that our FBI have been making on violent criminals. And, you know, there's so much that we can't talk about here, but if any of you are on the Intel committee, you know we are fighting terrorists around this country every single day. Our lawyers are
Whoa, she turned in like a little. Did you see her? Really? The people you've deemed terrorists because they've deemed drug organizations that we created through the war on drugs to be terrorists. Right? The terrorists that you and I are worried about are the ones who are trying to let off dirty bombs and stuff like that. What is her definition of what terrorist is? The newly classified terrorists who are Antifa and drug dealers?
shut down right now. They're not getting paid. The crime is not stopping. They are working around the clock to not only keep our country safe, Senator, but to keep our world safe. And they
Madam
will
Attorney
continue
General,
to do that.
I think all of us hate that there's a shutdown and its impact on the federal workforce and are working to find a way out of this shutdown, but one that will also restore cuts to health care. We could spend a lot of time on that, but let's focus on, if I could, two more questions related to your service as the Attorney General. The government's asserting the authority to summarily kill people. It says our cartel members through military strikes against boats on the open ocean in the Caribbean. Congress has never authorized such a use of military force, and it's unclear to me how the administration has concluded that these strikes are legal. I'm concerned with what the limiting principle is, whether the government could summarily kill people. It just declares our cartel members as well as unlawful combatants inside the United States, or if they were American citizens. This isn't about defending cartels, and these aren't hypothetical questions. President Trump assembled military leaders and said they would be needed to fight the enemy from within and to train in cities in the United States that he describes as chaotic and violent. Due process is the cornerstone of our Constitution. I'm deeply concerned about the authority our president seems to be asserting to summarily kill people suspected of criminal activity outside the law. As the chief lawyer for our federal government, you have a unique responsibility to ensure maintenance of our constitutional standards. How did you conclude that these strikes on ships or boats in the open ocean are legal?
So let me tell you something. I disavowed Obama when he was drone striking wedding parties in the Middle East to get the Jack of Spades or the King of Hearts, the playing deck they made to get terrorists. Same thing here. We can't just go blowing people up in the water. You think that's going to solve the drug problem in America, blowing up a boat? I mean, you saw the movie Traffic with Michael Douglas. Drugs are coming through everywhere. Everywhere. Just killing random Venezuelans, it's insane.
Senator Coons, I'm not going to discuss any legal advice that my department may or may not have given or issued at the direction of the president on this matter. Regarding Venezuela, what I can tell you is Maduro is a narco-terrorist, and I announced $50 million reward for his capture to bring him to this country to face charges. He is currently under indictment in our country. Drugs coming from Venezuela are killing our children at record levels.
And
what a load of shit. I mean, really, the criminalization of drugs is what has created cartels. I'm a Gen Xer. We said we were going to end this bullshit war on drugs when we got into power. And now we're at the age where we're all entering into power. This idea that it's this one country that's killing us, it's just so ridiculous.
This committee are as passionate as you at protecting our families and our communities from fentanyl, but we also need...
Bullshit, man. Read the Mullen Commission. It's on my website. You can get it for free. The cops are involved in the drug dealing. Read it. It's on the website, DeleteLawz.com. Read the Mullen. It's in there. Cops as drug dealers. Cops as muscle for drug dealers. The same people that they all suck off and back the blue and more money for cops, they're the same people who are the drug dealers and pimps. Not every one of them, obviously, but they don't tell on the ones who are, do they? The good ones don't, do they?
To protect our sailors on the high seas who are conducting freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea from just an abject violation of international norms and standards about how we interdict ships on the high seas. We can push back on fentanyl and drug trafficking. Many of my colleagues have done so as former U.S. attorneys or prosecutors or attorneys general, but we have to do it in a way that is in keeping with the core values of our Constitution. My colleagues have pressed you on a number of recent actions, particularly in the Eastern District of Virginia. My colleague Senator Klobuchar did, and I just wanted to add my voice to those who have expressed real alarm at how in your confirmation hearing you said you would be leading a department that would look forward, yet public statements by President Trump urging you to go after and to indict and to prosecute specific named people seem to have led to dramatic and sudden action by the department. I am gravely concerned about what is no longer a hypothetical question, which you refused to answer in your confirmation hearing, but is a real question about when or if the president demands you prosecute individuals because he views them as opponents or enemies, what you will do and what your limiting standard is, because the recent episode around the indictment of James Comey left me very concerned about the direction of the department.
We're a minute and a half over.
So it's funny. PF put the comment: are they blowing up Chinese ships? Are they killing the Colombians too? Because I'm half Colombian. Are they? I mean, Mexican? Is every Mexican getting killed? Like what? It's just so preposterous that we would just choose to blow specific boats up out of the water with no way of knowing. It's just terrible.
Senator Chairman, may I answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Decriminalize all drugs. Create space stations for these hard drugs where you can use them in places legally. It's not illegal to transport them, to have them. The government sells them. And then at every single space station, you have people who go in and say, let us help you. Let us rehab you. You're not gonna go to jail. No one's going to put cuffs on you. Do you want to go through rehab? Portugal did almost exactly what I'm saying. And read the Portugal study. It's 35-year study now. They decriminalized.
As you have stated in the past, no one is above the law. And James Comey is a pending case right now. It's a pending indictment. He was indicted by one of the most liberal grand juries in the country, by our U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, right here in Virginia. And it's a pending case, so I'm not going to discuss the facts of a pending case.
But you can understand the alarm about the circumstances of the indictment immediately following President Trump demanding that you take action to indict and prosecute that specific individual. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Just so the American people understand, this issue of weaponization of justice goes to the core of the integrity of our criminal justice system. And I think we can all agree that no individual, no group should be targeted simply because they are a political opponent or because the President of the United States has some personal animosity toward them. You just said that President Trump is the most transparent president in history, tragically and chillingly. You may be right when it comes to criminal justice, because far from ending weaponization of justice, I would submit, Madam Attorney General, that President Trump has embodied it. And we have a record. It is a public record of his express instructions that certain individuals be investigated. The Attorney General of New York, Tish James, my colleague, Adam Schiff, the former CISA director, Chris Krebs, the DHS former Chief of Staff, Miles Taylor. There's a list. And he has been transparent. In fact, 5 days before the indictment of James Comey, he put this post up as instructions to you. He didn't mince words. He was very open and public that you should indict James Comey and others because they are guilty as hell. No more delay. Now, 5 days before you.
It says, Pam, I have received over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adams, Shifty Shift, LaFecia, and all the guilty? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is being done. Then we almost put a Democrat supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why the two worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even tried the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him. And there's a great case, and many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsay Halligan is really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation, credibility, the impact. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. President Donald J. Trump, DJT.
You indicted, or grand jury at your instructions indicted James Comey. I'd like to know from you what conversations you've had with President Trump about the indictment of James Comey?
She can't say anything. It's an ongoing case.
Senator, I am not going to
One
discuss
second.
any conversations I have or have
Charlie, come here.
not had with the President of the
Did
United
you see
States.
that
You're
post?
an attorney. You have a law degree, and you know
He can't.
that I'm not
she
going to
can't
do that.
s-
I also find
she
it
can't say anything. Comey's under indictment. It was a stupid question. This is the parade for you guys. This is the parade for people who vote Democrat and Republican. I don't. And I don't because this is the parade. That question she can't answer. Comey's under indictment.
fascinating, because I'll keep fighting to ensure that law enforcement and the judicial process move forward without political interference. No one is above the law, not even the president. That's a quote from you, Senator Blumenthal, in 2017.
Well, let me ask you then. When you saw that
No
post,
one is above the law. That was your
When
quote.
you saw that post, did you talk to anybody in the White House?
I am not going to discuss any conversations I have, nor any investigation.
Do you hear how they're all for the indictment and charging and prosecuting and putting you in jail? That's what our government has become, is all about putting you in jail.
So
nor
you are unwilling
any
to tell
pending
this committee
cases.
about
Lock them up, lock them up. The crowd chants here in America.
conversations with the White House
And if I
regarding
may
James
continue,
Comey's indictment.
and if I may
Let me show
continue,
you a picture.
James Comey was indicted by one of the most liberal grand juries in the United States.
The night before James Comey's indictment, you had dinner with the President of the United States. Pretty intimate group.
Actually, there
James
were a lot of
Comey-
people.
Can she not say United States? United States? Can she just not say United States? Let me slow it back down to regular speech here. She can't say United States. Listen.
Any investigations,
So
nor
you are unwilling to
any
tell
pending
this committee
cases.
about conversations with the White House
And if I may
regarding James
continue,
Comey's indictment.
and if I may
Let me show
continue,
you a picture.
James Comey was indicted by one of the most liberal grand juries in the United States.
In the United States, she just can't say it.
The night before James Comey's indictment, you had dinner with the President of the United States. Pretty intimate group. Was
Actually, there
James
were a lot of
Comey
people there that
discussed-
night. That's a
was
great
James
picture.
Comey discussed at that dinner?
That's a
I love-
great picture.
That picture, that's a great picture. And there were a lot of people there that night. I think the entire cabinet was there.
Did you discuss James Comey with the President of the United States? He was sitting just to your left.
Well, 2 seats down, yes, 2 seats down. And I am not going to discuss any
I'm going to take
conversations
that
I've
as
had
a
or not
yes,
had with the
because
President
the
of
show.
the
American
United
public
States.
is entitled to know, Madam Attorney General.
The entire
whether
cabinet
What does this have to do with the price of groceries?
You
at that
took
dinner,
instructions from President Trump after he told you very directly to indict James Comey, which is weaponization of the Department of Justice.
Oh,
You know,
wait, wait,
I
you-
want to agree with my colleague, Senator Hawley, that weaponization of our justice system must end. That's the reason that I propose legislation, and I challenge him and my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to join me in legislation that would create a statutory right of action for people who are selectively or maliciously prosecuted for political reasons. It would codify your manual, the Department of Justice manual, on political prohibitions against political considerations in charging decisions and prohibit the White House from intervening, President Trump and any other president from intervening in charging decisions. It would make reforms to the grand jury process. You just said this grand jury was liberal. We should reform the grand jury process to ensure that the government is not abusing its power and authority, and it will require transparency and accountability reforms at DOJ so that you will and other attorneys general be held accountable for these kinds of decisions. Will you join me in supporting that kind of reform?
Senator Blumenthal, I find it so interesting that you didn't bring any of this up during President Biden's administration when he was doing everything to protect Hunter Biden, his son.
I mean, deflect. Answer the question.
I think you just saw what Director Radcliffe just released.
You know, this is an effort to be
information.
positive
If I can
and
finish answering the
constructive,
question, I'm not
Madam
going to yell
Attorney
over you. I'm not going to get in the gutter with you. But information.
No, Pam, you're fighting like an alley cat. You're fighting for sure. Deflecting and not answering the question he asked.
Information that the Biden administration told them not to investigate Hunter Biden's involvement with Ukraine.
That has nothing to do with this. You're being questioned. We want to know answers from you, Pam.
And I'm not going to be lectured to you about integrity by someone who lied about being in the military just to be elected a senator.
Oh, yeah, this guy lied about being in Vietnam.
The merger between Hewlett-Packard Enterprises and Juniper Network was settled. You authorized the settlement. It was the subject of a lawsuit to block it. The settlement produced virtually no concessions from Hewlett-Packard. It was a settlement that prompted criticism from the antitrust division. did you authorize that settlement yourself?
As I stated earlier, Gail Slater is doing an incredible job running the antitrust unit. And as I stated earlier, that is still a pending matter. As
Well,
you
you
should know
then
with a law
fired,
degree,
did you not,
that all
two-
mergers, if I can fit.
I mean, I shouldn't make fun of her for having sometimes some malfunctions with the human body. Charlie.
Answering the question.
I'm going to,
If I
with
could
apologies,
finish. No, I'm
interrupt
answering
you
the question.
because my time is
No,
limited.
well, then don't ask me a question.
Let me
So,
just ask you,
as
did
I
you-
said, you have a law degree. You know that not only are mergers agreed upon, but they have to go to a court of law to be approved. It's a multi-step process. And as I said earlier, that is still pending. And I have full faith in Gail Slater.
And Ms. Slater reportedly objected to the settlement.
Reportedly,
And, moreover,
moreover.
2 of her top officials were fired, Roger Alford and Bill Schinner. Did you authorize and direct those firings after they objected to the settlement?
I am not going to discuss personnel matters or pending litigation in my office.
Let me ask you about another merger. The merger involving 2 home health care agencies.
Where's the
on
Epstein
favorable
files?
terms, likely to drive up costs for millions of America.
Where's the Epstein files?
Transportation Department's rule to provide compensation to travelers impacted by airline-caused flight delays, which was canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Merger.
So you guys know about this? This is important what he's talking about. So it used to be that if the airline delayed or canceled our flight, that we would be able to get compensation for that. And they just removed it. And that's what he's asking about right here. This was a really big deal, in case you guys don't travel a lot.
Drive up costs for millions of America. The Transportation Department's rule to provide compensation to travelers impacted by airline-caused flight delays, which was canceled. The merger of Skydance and Paramount, after Paramount's ownership took a number of steps favorable to the president. These kinds of mergers belie the claims that President Trump himself has made, that this administration will stop big corporate mergers that ultimately benefit the owners of those corporations rather than consumers or ordinary, everyday Americans.
Senator,
and let me ask you
wait,
about
you just listed,
particularly-
you just gave a
But
list
let me just
of
finish.
many
Oh,
mergers.
I have a
Can
question
you
for
talk
you.
to me about the issue with these mergers?
I do have a question. In
Waiting for
the
it.
merger that took place,
Which
that was
merger? You've listed many.
involving American Express GBT. I understand that Brian Ballard, longtime backer and head of the law firm where you work, was instrumental in lobbying the Justice Department to drop that lawsuit. It was dismissed, so it's not subject to a court review. What conversations did you have with Mr. Ballard?
Senator Blumenthal, I cannot believe that you would accuse me of impropriety when
Oh,
you
yeah. You could never imagine a politician, a senator who sat over the Epstein files in Florida and in federally. We would never think you're corrupt, Pam.
lied about your military service.
But
did you have with Mr.
let me give you the full build up for her. Like, can you even question my integrity? Yeah, we can.
Ballard?
Senator Blumenthal, I cannot believe that you would accuse me of impropriety when you lied about your military service.
I am
you
not
lied.
asking
You
you-
admitted you
I am
lied
not
to be
accusing you
elected
of
a U.S. senator.
impropriety. I'm
You
asking
lied.
you
How
about
dare you? I'm a
conversations
career
with
prosecutor.
Mr.
Don't you
Ballard,
ever challenge my integrity.
had
I have
apparently-
abided by every ethics standard. Do not question my ability to be fair and impartial as Attorney General. And anything
You'll
with
answer that
my
question to
former
another of my
firm,
colleagues.
Ballard
Thank
Partners.
you.
Did you hear the last part of that? Don't you dare question my integrity to be fair and balanced.
My integrity.
had
I have
apparently-
abided by every ethics standard. Do not question my ability to be fair and impartial as Attorney General. And anything
You'll
with
answer that
my
question to
former
another of my
firm,
colleagues.
Ballard Partners.
Thank you. Senator Ronald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, FISA Section 702 will expire in 6 months. In response to my questions for the record, at your confirmation hearing, you said you did not have experience with FISA, but if confirmed, you would consult with experts at DOJ. Now, you've had that opportunity. Do you support adding additional safeguards for searching Americans' communications in the 702 database?
Senator, Section 702 is a vital source of foreign intelligence and instrumental in keeping Americans safe. We also take individuals' rights of their individual rights of all Americans very seriously. And many statutory reforms to FISA incorporate safeguards. They have to incorporate safeguards to protect our civil liberties. The Department of Justice looks forward to working with you to discuss
To
anything
defend our civil liberties, Pam?
regarding 702.
Appreciate
I believe
that.
my staff, and Senator, I also want to thank you for this hearing. Your staff met with my staff, and I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you. We're going to be working on 702, so I appreciate the openness to further amending 702. At your confirmation hearing, you assured me that it is the Department of Justice's decision to determine what cases will be prosecuted. Last month, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was forced out. President Trump then posted the message behind me asking about prosecuting James Comey. You then appointed a new U.S. attorney who, within days, secured an indictment against James Comey. That social media post behind me saying, "What about Comey?" was directed to Pam. Are you the Pam that the president was referring to?
I'm sure I was.
So it's very clear to me that when the president posts something like that, that he considers the DOJ to be his law firm and you his lawyer. And in fact, very shortly after the post to you, Comey gets indicted. Last year, President Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, was videotaped taking a bag with $50,000 in cash from undercover FBI agents after suggesting he could help with government contracts. Sounds like a bribe.
Look at the meme that they created for the Tom Homan 50,000 bag of cash. That's funny. He did get a bag of cash. I mean, put a one in the chat if Tom Homan got a bag of cash and it was done legal. The FBI made a deal. They shook hands and Homan got that 50 grand. None of them will deny it.
2 weeks ago, DOJ officials reportedly shut down the bribery investigation into Mr. Homan. Ms. Bondi, did you approve closing the Homan investigation, bribery investigation?
Senator Hirono, as I stated earlier, the Department of Justice and the FBI conducted a thorough review.
We
and
looked
they
at
found
it.
No credible evidence of any wrongdoing.
They made a
You were
deal.
also on video outside.
They made a deal. There's no wrongdoing. They made a deal for Tom Homan to get the 50 grand.
White House protesting with a group called CASA, where Antifa members were. Does that mean you're a member of Antifa?
It's about Antifa, not about Tom Homan getting 50 grand. What are you talking about? There's no wrongdoing.
You know, I simply asked the question as to whether or not you approve the shutting down of the investigation of Mr. Homan. I have to assume that you did because the FBI reports to you. But the American people would look at the situation where this person is taking a $50,000 in cash, no less, and you testified today that a thorough investigation was done. Now, I have to assume, I conclude, that since no wrongdoing was determined,
No
that,
wrongdoing.
in answer to Senator Whitehouse's question, he kept the money. He kept
Yes.
the money, and I hope that he put that on his tax returns.
No. But hold on. Why won't any of them deny that he took the money? And you could be on the left or the right, and you can have your. I'm a centrist. I'm for America first. So, I guess they made a deal. Homan got 50 grand.
Income. Next question. Over 1,200 rioters were convicted of charges related to January 6th. President Trump has since pardoned nearly all of them. As if that weren't enough, last month there were reports that a lawyer...
No. Come on. J6 was led by the FBI. I'm not for all of the whole thing, but come on. We know that. The
for the
FBI
January
was
6
J6.
rioters met with senior DOJ officials
We
about
already
setting
know
up a
that.
compensation fund like the one that Congress set up after 9/11 to compensate these rioters. Ms. Bondi.
No, they weren't all rioters, man. Some of them were very good people, as Trump would say, right? But some of them were, and that's why I say I'm a fierce centrist, because people who are on the left who are truly like these, the leftists, these people are all criminals. They should all go to prison. No, they should not. There's people who were put in cages that I've talked to on the phone. I've talked to many J6ers on the phone who were put through the worst, through the ringer, for simply walking through the building. It's like, no, I'm not down with that,
Is anyone at DOJ considering setting up a compensation fund for January 6 rioters? Yes or no?
Senator, I have had no meetings or discussions.
I hope they do. I hope that some of those J6ers who were simply there along for the ride and this was going on. There's other ones that really got violent. I mean, if you really want to look at, when you start to do violence, but no, man, you can't have 275 FBI agents in there and then say, oh, it was all the J6ers.
About a fund.
So would you support such a fund? Would you okay such a fund?
Senator, you can send me the information on the fund, and I'd be happy to look at it.
No, but do you think that's a good idea to, this is what I'm getting at. Because to actually set up a fund and to have people talking with your senior people at DOJ, political people, about creating a fund, and you won't let us know what you think about that.
I think there should be a fund for anybody who gets thrown in a frickin' cage in a dungeon with no empathy, no love, put on the cold, hard concrete, never shown any sort of education or any care. I think there should be a fund for every one of them so they can get the proper education they need not to go back to that dungeon.
That's pretty unbelievable. On January 30th of this year, the Trump DOJ's Antitrust Division sued to block the merger of 2 tech companies. Then, well-connected lobbyists met with your political deputies who overruled the career staff.
She's kind of shit here. We're gonna go through her. We're gonna jump to the next one.
That breaks down. Sort of to level set a little bit for folks in the audience and for folks watching at home, the Department of Justice is supposed to be the nation's guardian of fairness and the rule of law. The power of the Department of Justice is built on public trust and a belief that prosecutions are based on facts and law, not on politics or personal loyalty. And I call that out, Mr. Chairman, because when that breaks down, when the public trust breaks down, then justice itself is.
Does he sound like he's gonna cry? Let me see something here. Let me go to normal speed. Let me see if he sounds like he's gonna cry.
At risk. But under this Trump administration and the leadership of Attorney General Bondi, I believe the independence of the Department of Justice has come under attack. The department has been reorganized, it's been realigned, and repurposed in ways that we've never seen before. Important offices have been closed, key programs dismantled, and agents diverted, all without congressional authorization or transparent justification. Now, these are not minor bureaucratic changes. They represent a fundamental shift in the Department of Justice's missions and priorities, its policies, and its practices. Now, for example, career prosecutors have been pressured to change decisions in politically sensitive cases. Ethics oversight has been.
So this guy I was wondering, he was talking really funny. He's had a stroke. He had a brain injury, so that's why he talks the way he talks.
Taken away from independent career professionals and handed to political appointees with little experience.
But he's tough to listen to.
Making cases in your jurisdiction constantly in California, and I wish you would care about those cases. We have disrupted 1,600 gangs and criminal enterprises, 1,600 gangs within this country, thanks to Director Patel and the great men and women of the FBI.
I am General Bondi. I'm kind of a boring management consultant, nerd that believes in best practices as a way to kind of move forward and create consistent outcomes. I'm having a real struggle right now with the National Guard being deployed and masking the abject failure of leaders at the state and local level. So give me some sense of if the deployment of the National Guard to Chicago or Portland is necessary to kind of create a shock to the system, do you believe that that's a best practice or just a necessary evil until we regen the extraordinary work I've seen on joint task forces every day in North Carolina with absolute cooperation between state, federal, and local officials? Is that the best practice that we should get to, or is this deployment of the National Guard a part of an emerging best practice that I just don't get yet?
Senator Tillis, seeing what's happening in Chicago, they need the National Guard. Our ICE members need the National Guard to protect the national buildings.
Oh, 100%. I'm talking about when it wades into local law
deployed.
enforcement. See, I felt like deployment in D.C. made sense because of the hybrid nature of D.C. What I'm saying is outside of that, defending federal buildings and federal law enforcement, addressing, I think you mentioned over 500 murders in Chicago, it would just seem to me that all those bums should be thrown out in an election. And are we masking an underlying problem that will come back the minute we leave? That's what I'm talking about. Not the protection of federal buildings and federal law enforcement officers, but almost the sense that they become an arm of local law enforcement. I don't consider that a best practice. It doesn't sound like you do either.
Well, I don't believe our National Guard want to be doing that, but they're going to be where they have to be to keep Americans safe. In Memphis right now, the highest violent crime rate in the country. I was on the ground with Secretary Hegseth there, and our Guard was there, and they were thrilled. They're ready to help, and we used all Tennessee Guard there. Secretary Hegseth used all Tennessee Guard. They're working hand in hand with the Memphis Police Department, who I believe were very happy to have them there, helping them to keep Memphis safe. Can I go back to the vaping again that you brought up, please, Senator? So I went to Chicago, actually, with Secretary Kennedy, and it was just outside of Chicago in a suburb. And we were there talking about the illegal vapes and what parents need to know. This is a bipartisan issue. What people need to know, these illegal vapes, they're all over this country. You can buy them in convenience stores. You can buy them in grocery stores. One vape is the equivalent of, I believe, 20 cigarettes. The flavored ones are illegal, and they're targeting children, what you said earlier. Some of these vapes, and I had never seen this until we were there, even have video games attached to them. That's not targeting an adult. It's targeting a child. And they're also, the majority, are coming in from China, which is illegal, and they're lacing them with THC. Now, right now, I can't say that I've seen deaths with fentanyl laced, but we want to get on the front end.
Oh,
of this.
she says, I have not seen the fentanyl-laced vapes yet, but we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to come up with them.
Because that's what's next.
We have to,
if we
and
don't control
hopefully
this in every single one of our states, that's what's next. And for the first time, we're getting on the front end of a very serious problem around our country. And Senator Moody, you fought this as well. So thank you for letting me address that, Senator Tillis. And parents need to know that.
We do. We need to focus on it. And all I'm saying from a political standpoint.
For my cigarette smokers, you're not going to love it, but that's the real problem is the cigarette smokers whose cigarette butts are the #1 litter in the country. The #1 litter thing in America is cigarette butts. Look it up.
Is that if we're only, President Trump is termed out. He'll only be able to serve out his second term. And I believe the president is absolutely focused on making these dangerous cities safer. I reject any notion that Charlotte's on that list, by the way. So whether you're Democrat or Republican, bring it on. But
don't do my city. Don't do my city, right?
See 3.5 years from now, if we don't address the
Cringe.
systemic problems, that what we've basically done is given a governor and mayor and city councilman a pass on failing to protect their people. I was formerly Speaker of the House in North Carolina. If I thought I had to have the president deploy troops to keep North Carolina safe, I would have considered myself a failure as a state leader. And so I just hope we strike the balance so that we're not fixing a problem temporarily, only to come back maybe even worse than the problem we're fixing the moment this president who's committed to local safety leaves. And that's something that we have to talk about. So we're leaving something behind. And I'm going to yield back. Thank you.
Senator Tillis.
General Bondi, at your confirmation hearing in January, made a clear commitment you would not politicize your position. We are here today.
This is pretty good. This is a back and forth with Schiff. Now, who's the bigger piece of trash here, Pam Bondi or Schiff? I can't tell.
Oversight hearing 9 months into your tenure, at a time when hundreds of career prosecutors have quit because they were required to take unethical actions at odds with that promise, or feared that they would have to take such actions if they remained on the job. When over 1,000 former federal prosecutors have sounded the alarm about the unprecedented degree to which the powers of DOJ are being abused to go after the president's enemies. I approach this hearing with a heavy heart. As a former federal prosecutor myself, I served in a department that, whether it was under a Democratic or Republican president, would never use the office to go after the president's enemies or to hide the corruption of his friends. But today, the Justice Department has been used to cover up the possible corruption of the mayor of New York, or of a high-level administration official taking $50,000 reportedly in cash in a bag, or a child sex predator who befriended
cash in a bag, Homan,
president and some of his cabinet members. And instead of preventing partisan weaponization, your department has engaged in a brazenly political prosecution at the president's explicit direction. The department has become President Trump's personal sword and shield to go after his ever-growing list of political enemies and to protect himself, his allies, and associates. My questions therefore focus on these two themes: hiding the corrupt acts of his friends and prioritizing the political prosecution of his enemies. So let me start with the shocking allegations of bribery and pay to play. 2 weeks ago, 4 major media outlets reported that Tom Homan, the president's top deportation official working in the White House,
got a
took
bag of
$50,000
money
in cash in
got
a bag from undercover FBI agents in September 2024, just over a year ago. According to these reports, Homan indicated he would facilitate securing contracts in exchange for money once he was in office in a future Trump administration. Reportedly, this exchange was caught on tape. Rather than pursue this investigation without fear or favor, the department and the FBI under your leadership, or that of your predecessor before you confirmed, quietly shut it down. Once news broke, your deputy and FBI director issued a joint public statement confirming that the Trump administration closed the investigation. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied Homan took the $50,000, telling a reporter, quote, "Mr. Homan never took the $50,000 that you're referring to, so you should get your facts straight." So today I hope you can help us get our facts straight. Was that true, what the White House Press Secretary said when she denied Homan took the money? Did he take...
Okay. She's not going to confirm or deny that he took the bag. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he took the bag. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he did not take the bag.
Money?
Senator Schiff, as I stated earlier, I was not in office. I was not confirmed when that was handled.
So does that
Deputy
mean...
Attorney General Blanche and Director Patel
Answer.
said that there was no evidence that Tom Homan committed a crime. Yet now you're putting his picture up to slander him
I'm
as much as you
putting
can.
his picture up showing an interview he gave with, I think, Fox, in which he was asked explicitly about these allegations that he took a $50,000 bribe. And he refused to answer. He said he didn't answer the question whether he took the money. So I'm asking you the question: did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, I answered that question multiple times, and frankly,
Well, I don't think, with respect, I don't think you did. But in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General.
Do you know,
I said that.
Did he take the money?
All I know is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
and,
was she?
Senator
Was she?
Schiff,
What? What is she? I'm so sorry.
Was she
if you
right?
worked for me,
Was
you
she-
would have been fired.
Excuse-
Because
If you worked for me, you would have been fired. Yeah, he's Trump's #1 enemy, and you're Trump's attorney general. But listen to this.
you're censored
No,
by Congress
you're-
for lying with
we,
your
we can
egregious
stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been
So-
attacking
so-
my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been
But what
attacking
we're interested in.
borders are.
What we're interested in is the answer to the.
You've been attacking my FBI director. My borders are. Do you see her thinking?
Oversight questions.
You want your
So
no,
you were
oversight.
you were asked
want
you were
your
asked
5
by my
minutes of
colleague.
fame
You were asked by my colleague.
attacking good people.
Regular order, Madam Chair, so I can
she's
ask
fighting,
a question.
huh?
You were asked by my colleague from Vermont
Trump would call her a nasty woman at this point, wouldn't he?
whether you will support providing a video or audio tape if it exists of Mr. Holman taking $50,000 in bribe money from the FBI. Will you support a request by this committee to provide that tape or tapes to the committee? Yes or no?
Senator Schiff, you can talk to Director Patel about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about
We got to go back. We got to go back real quick.
your
There was
hear you. What is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as
I understand,
Attorney
but do
General.
you know?
I said that.
Do you know sitting here whether
All
he
I
took the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt
Said there was no case. I don't have TDS. I hate them both, dude. I hate Republicans and Democrats. Are you new to my channel? You just get here? I hate Schiff. Schiff's a piece of...
is one of the
Schiff?
most trustworthy
Shifty.
human beings I
Oh, this was the part I wanted to rewind to. This is the part. Here's this. Here it is.
and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
Caroline Leavitt is a sugar baby. She married a 60-year-old rich dude when she was 25. I live in Southern California, in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. I've lived here for 25 years. Girls who are 25 that marry the 60-year-old guys here, and there's a lot of them. I know them. I know them to this day, and I'm 50 now, and I know those women who married guys 25 years ago when we were 25 years old. We call those women sugar babies. Caroline Leavitt is a sugar baby who had a connection to Trump who got her the job. If was she one of Trump's pageants too? I can't remember.
Was she?
was
Senator
she,
Schiff, was she
if
right?
you worked for me,
Was
you
she-
would have been fired
What-
because you were
fired.
censored
No,
by Congress
you-
for lying with your
we can
egregious
stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been
So-
attacking
so-
my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been
But
attacking.
we're interested
The
in.
borders
What we're
are.
interested in is the answer to these oversight questions.
You want your
So
no,
you were
oversight.
asked
you want
you were
your
asked
5
by my
minutes of
colleague.
fame
You were asked by my colleague.
attacking good people.
Regular order, Madam Chair, so I can ask a question.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that 25-year-old women? I'm 50, so to me, 25-year-old girl is beautiful for sure, but I have a tiny bit of status here on YouTube. But why does a 25-year-old young woman, want to be with a 60-year-old dude? Could it be the money and the connections?
Question. You were asked by my colleague from Vermont whether you will support providing a video or audio tape if it exists of Mr. Holman taking $50,000 in bribe money from the FBI. Will you support a request by this committee to provide that tape or tapes to the committee? Yes or no?
Senator Schiff, you can talk to Director Patel about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about it. You're the Attorney General. This will be your decision. Will you
You
support?
don't have to tell me what is my decision and
Well,
what is
then-
not
then-
my decision.
then-
I
and
said
you- and
you
you
can
don't
talk
have
to
to-
Director
and you
Patel.
don't have to try to-
You think
you
you've
don't
got a
have to-
gotcha with Tom Home and our
Excuse me,
borders are,
excuse me, you
who's
don't-
been out there
excuse me.
fighting for our country
Madam
since
Chair,
Donald Trump took office.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Regular order, please. And you don't have to defer to the FBI director to pass the buck. So I'm asking you, will you support a request so that the committee, or indeed, I believe, the American people should be able to see that video or audio tape. Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump
So
for
I
trying
guess,
to
I
impeach
guess the
him
answer is you won't support that
after
request.
you now know that
So
Joe
let me-
Biden tried
let
to
me
cover up
do
Hunter
this.
Biden's involvement with
Excuse
Ukraine?
me. Let me do this, because I think it's valuable that the American people get a sense of what you've refused to answer today. So these are just some of the questions you refused to answer, or have answered with personal attacks on members of this committee. You were asked whether you consulted with career ethics lawyers, as you promised you would do during your nomination hearing, when you approved the president receiving a $400 million gift from the Qataris. You refused to answer that question. You were asked who or what role you may have played, or who played the role in asking that Trump's name be flagged in any of the Epstein documents gathered by the FBI. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Holman kept the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Holman paid taxes on the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did career prosecutors find insufficient evidence to charge James Comey? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, how are military strikes on these boats in the Caribbean legal? And you refused to even answer that question.
You were asked, a law degree,
excuse me. You were asked, did you discuss indicting James Comey with the president? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did you approve the firing of antitrust lawyers who disagreed with the Hewlett-Packard merger? You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you support a restoration fund for violent insurrections to attack the Capitol on January 6th. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you were firing career professionals, career prosecutors, just because they worked on January 6th investigations. You refused to answer that question. You were asked by my California colleague whether you believe government officials, like immigration officials, have to abide by court orders. You wouldn't even answer that question. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing.
Oversight?
Excuse me, you can attack me after my time is over.
You've attacked all of us, including President Trump, for your entire career.
You can attack me later, and I know you've got plenty of canned attacks.
But she's completely, her integrity to be nonpartisan cannot be questioned.
For them all day to day.
Canned attacks on you?
This is supposed to be.
No one needs a canned attack on you.
Regular order, Madam Chair. I'm trying to speak. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing of the Justice Department. And it comes in the wake of an indictment called for by the president of one of his enemies. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing, and it comes in the wake of revelations that a top administration official took $50,000 in a bag, and this department made that investigation go away.
Oh, like Shifty Schiff isn't the most corrupt politician ever. He's so shifty. He's cringe.
This is supposed to be an oversight hearing when dozens of prosecutors have been fired simply because they worked on cases investigating the former president. This is, and now the current president.
What about the fires in California?
And
Do you
this
care
is
about that,
supposed to
Senator
be.
Schiff?
This is supposed to be an oversight hearing in which members of Congress can get serious answers to serious questions about
Are the riots in LA serious?
About the cover-up of corruption, about the prosecution of the president's enemies. And
I think you owe the president an apology.
When will it be
Your entire career, frankly.
that the members of this committee on a bipartisan basis demand answers to those questions and refuse to accept
Clearly you're a failed lawyer because you don't understand when someone can and cannot answer a question.
Refuse to accept personal slander as an answer to those questions.
Personal slander?
With
Will
that,
you apologize
Madam Chair,
to Donald
I yield
Trump
back.
for slandering him? Personal slander.
Senator.
May I ask unanimous consent, Madam Chair, to introduce into the record the statement of 1,000 former Justice Department officials who warned that the Comey indictment is a democracy-threatening abuse of power. May I also request unanimous consent for the introduction into the record of 282 former career officials at the Justice Department raising an alarm who were voluntarily or involuntarily forced to leave the department because of improper actions taken by the Department of Justice. may I introduce with unanimous consent the Justice Department manual that talks about when initiating and declining charges are subject to impermissible considerations. And finally, Madam Chair, may I introduce the letter for Michael Ben-Ari, a career counterterrorism prosecutor, DOJ, a letter he nailed to his door, which concludes by urging officials to do the right thing for the right reasons, to follow the facts and the law, and raises the alarm that the decision to remove experienced career officials from U.S. attorneys' offices, the FBI, and critical parts of DOJ undermines our country's abilities to counter terrorist organizations, malign nation-state actors, and countless others that seek to harm our nation and its citizens. And he believes that the priority is prosecuting the president's enemies
or are you admitting?
rather than
Bondi,
protecting
Ms.
the
Bondi,
country.
one moment.
May I have unanimous
Are you-
consent
are
to
you
enter
entering
these
that
into the record?
without objection?
Thank you. I yield back.
Senator Brett.
Senator Moody, may I clarify one thing he entered in the record? I just want to say that I believe he entered a letter by 200 and something former employees. Well, I believe the spokesperson for that letter was also the spokesperson for Jack Smith.
Senator Brett.
When I was confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States,
She can't say United. I mean, I don't typically get like nitpicky with people about spelling or stupid shit like that, but she can't say United States. I've noticed it ever since she became the Attorney General. But listen, there it is, two pairs, Democrats and Republicans. I mean, I totally agree, dude. It's two wings of the same bird, you guys. They're playing us like fiddles, working us against each other to hate each other because of cult of personalities. Because you love Reagan or love Trump or love Obama. They're all scumbags, guys. They're all scumbags. They're all in it together. Don't for a second think that they're on our side. None of them are.
person for that letter was also the spokesperson for Jack Smith.
Senator Brett.
When I was confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States.
United?
Welcome to the Daily Show. My name is Jon Stewart. Man!
The United States, she just can't, she cannot speak properly. She has no ability to be able to speak properly. I'll show a couple of videos. I got a couple of videos I gotta watch anyway. So if you guys wanna hang with me, I will. I'll pull up a couple of videos real quick, and we'll do a couple cop videos. Do me a favor, put Team DLZ in the chat. Team DLZ, what is going on with the Playboys? Man, good to see everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the super chats. I tried not to interrupt that too much. I just wanted to let it play and let people watch it. But I have got a couple videos that we got to take a look at, that we absolutely have got to take a look at. And I screen recorded them earlier, and I was like, I got to show these to the people. You absolutely have got to see a couple of these videos. That one. So let's take a look at this one first.
Simple, easy fix. Allowed in. If you saying I can't record somebody from the public sidewalk.
So this is Kansas City Accountability, and he was doing a First Amendment audit, and he was filming inside of a bank. And this bootlicking, well, I guess he's not a bootlicker. This guy was like sticking up for the girls in the bank because he knew them, this guy here. But he has so much misinformation that I absolutely had to share with you guys and show you what the truth is about your rights.
Listen to what you saying, bro. Don't allowed in. If you saying I can't record somebody from the public sidewalk. Listen to what you saying, bro. Don't even make sense, do it. Tell me to shut their blinds if they don't want me to record. Simple, easy fix. See, look at him. Now y'all making me nervous. Now he finna call the police because you tripping. Because he should call the police.
Yes. Bro,
Man, you tripping, bro. This is illegal.
Yes. You record people that don't want to be recorded, man.
I'm in public.
I don't care if it's public, but you're recording somebody in their business.
Here, man, I'm talking to an emotional person. Can you take
I'm not emotional.
Okay, listen, I'm about to say something.
I'm not emotional.
Okay, so I'm about to say something.
Go ahead.
And please take your emotions out of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's no expectation of privacy in public. I'm on a public sidewalk. Anything I see from public, I can record it legally.
That comes from the 1969 case of Shuttlesworth versus City of Birmingham. In Shuttlesworth versus City of Birmingham, it determined that sidewalks the Supreme Court justice said out loud in their holding that sidewalks are First Amendment territory, meaning that all First Amendment activities on sidewalks are 100% constitutional, legal. It's your right. And this guy doesn't understand that.
So you think the police gonna let you do this when they come?
Yes.
Fuck the police.
Bro, you crazy.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm actually teaching right now. You my student today. Just to hang around a little tight.
All right, listen. Let me read you like this. Let me read you like
Go ahead, man.
Go record.
Kansas City accountability, my brother. Boom.
Or anywhere else. But then women feel uncomfortable, man.
Oh, they feel
Why
uncomfortable.
you keep saying women? Just say people. They want equal rights in there. Ain't they fight equal rights? I don't want to hear
I ain't out here for the people. I'm out here for the women. Them is my friends.
But you
They
keep
feel
saying
uncomfortable.
women. You keep saying women.
They
Just say
feel
people.
uncomfortable.
Just say those people in there. Because when you say women, they fight for equal rights. It's equal rights, right?
I'm not talking about the people. I don't know about everybody else. I know
so you
about
personal.
the women.
You, it's a personal thing.
The women feel uncomfortable,
Take your
man.
feelings out of it, brother. Your feelings is involved.
Listen.
He just called Lawz.
Listen to me.
Go ahead.
All I know is.
What do you know?
All I know is they feel uncomfortable.
That's all you know.
That's all I know.
You still talking about feelings. I'm talking about what I'm legally able out here to do. Can I ask you another question?
Did you call police yet?
Okay.
All right, they on their way.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
right,
And
they're on their
remember,
way.
take your feelings out of it, brother. Do you have a firearm?
Of course.
Is this an open carry state?
Absolutely.
Absolute. So if you put your firearm on you because you're legally able to do so, and somebody like, hey, look, man, I don't want you walk. Hey, go put that away, bro. I don't want you. You can't be walking around. What you talking about? They feelings don't stop my.
If I'm not bothering nobody, you bothering somebody.
I'm not bothering. I'm not talking.
You are.
Okay.
You're recording these young ladies that are you bothering somebody.
I'm not bothering.
That's the difference.
I'm not bothering nobody.
That's the difference.
I didn't speak to nobody.
You bothering them. You're standing over there recording these folks.
I got a job to do. I keep telling you that.
You say who?
I have a job. I'm working.
Your job is to record these ladies doing their job.
It got nothing to do with them women. You keep trying to make it a personal thing.
What is your job, man?
Your feelings just to record.
What is your job?
To record.
To record what? What is your job, man?
Here, come here.
Stay back here. Because I want you to record these women again. So that's going to make you mad.
We're not.
That's going to make him mad, but we don't care. Kansas City accountability. Booyah! Just took that fool to school. Took that fool to school. It was great.
I'm not gonna go check.
So why
license?
What for?
Your license, registration.
Why are you calling me
Listen,
over?
I'm gonna take you to jail if you don't give me your license. Give me your license.
Why are you pulling me over?
I already told you. Give me your license.
Why are you pulling me over? Get off your bike.
Yeah.
There it is, right there, folks. There. I mean, there it is in a nutshell, right there. The fight between I'm not going to give you my license unless you tell me why I pulled you over. If you don't give me your license, then I'm going to arrest you, and I'm not going to tell you why I pulled you over, which is the most morbid, twisted, sick shit ever. Do you know the state of California is the only state where the cop has to walk up to your window and tell you why he pulled you over? In 49 other states, there's this power struggle. I recommend when that cop comes up, you give him your license, your registration, and your proof of insurance right away. No matter what, if you're right, if you're wrong, if you're behind the wheel of the car, the judge is going to find some reason why the dirty cop is right. You have got to have your license, registration, proof of insurance ready to go.
I'm not gonna go check.
So why
license?
What for?
Your license, registration.
Why are you calling me
Listen,
over?
I'm gonna take you to jail if you don't give me your license. Give me your license.
Why are you pulling me over?
I already told you. Give me your license.
Why are you pulling me over? Get off your bike.
Yeah.
It all could have been avoided, all of it, if he had said, officer, here's my license, registration, and proof of insurance. There you go, officer. And then the next thing he said is, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. None of it would have happened to him. None of that would have happened. He could have avoided the entire thing. You use the trifold. You get it on DeleteLawz.com. I watch this video. I watch these videos, and I'm like, man, how do they not know? Like, I sit here all day and talk about this stuff all day, every day, but yet we continue to see it I don't get it. Holding that trifold in your hand is going to remind you, I'm here to film and invoke my fifth and say nothing else. I invoke the fifth, and that's all you say. Why did you pull me over? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Here's my license, registration, proof of insurance. I don't care why you pulled me over. I want to leave. I want to go home. I don't care. You're going to give me a ticket anyway most of the time. Am I wrong? Put a one in the chat if 95% they're going to give you a ticket. And some people are like, no, Chille, man, I got the skills. I'm going to talk him out of it. Depends on if he needs to hit a certain amount of tickets that month. Depends on where he is in life. And you're at his whim. But like this, at least you empower yourself. I can get you the trifold, but I can't get you your license, registration, proof of insurance put together. When I see these videos come out like this, I automatically be like, I have got to show the most stupid shit. Oh, and then I got this video today. Is this the same? Oh, I hated that video. I don't know if I want to cover it right now. I'll cover it, but I hated it, just so you know. I hated it. This video will make
You give
me
your
so
license, and then afterwards you'll find out why.
Boss, that's not how...
Did you hear that? That's what most cops in this country are like. This cop is nailing the reason why so many millions and millions of people either distrust or hate the police. This cop's attitude right here. Listen to it. You can hear it plain as day.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then afterwards you'll find out why.
Boss, that's not how this country works, bro.
You give your license, and afterwards you'll find out why. And that right there, my friends, is the entire problem. Right there. This guy's going to pull him over and then tell him, you first identify yourself to me, and then I'll let you know why I pulled you over. Use the delete Lawz method. Use the trifold. Get your license registration. Get it on DeleteLawz.com. Use the method that I teach. Put a one in the chat. If you have a trifold, it's going to be most of this chat. Half the chat's going to have a trifold in their car. This gives you the confidence and the step-by-step procedure of what you do when you get pulled over. And this cop's attitude just makes my blood boil.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then afterwards you'll find out why.
Boss, that's not how this country works,
That's
bro.
not how this country
Bro,
works.
listen, I'm
Once
I'm-
again, this
listen,
is a privilege for you to drive.
I'm very
Plot twist.
passionate about this country, bro.
Yeah.
Passionate.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then afterwards you'll find out why.
Boss, that's not how this country works,
That's
bro.
not how this country
Bro,
works.
listen,
Once again, this
listen,
is a privilege for you to drive.
I'm very passionate about this country, bro.
Yeah.
Okay?
And so am I, because I served it. I went to Iraq. So am I.
That's good.
All
Bro,
right.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, sir.
So I
Listen,
don't
let's make
understand
this easy, bro.
What is it?
You serve me. What is the reason of this stop? And then I serve you,
We're not
please.
going to go anywhere. We're going to keep going around the circle.
Boss man.
Stay in the car.
All right. Mr. Officer.
All right, understand our perspective.
I do.
Before you say anything, the reason I stopped you because it was a little suspicious.
I understand that too. I was like,
So-
what the hell? I was suspicious of you too, man. I'm just parked up, coming down with my bag. You saw me.
Listen.
We looked at each other.
If you ask me something, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
You being all defensive makes me a little nervous, makes me a little worried that you're in that area you're up to no good. When I asked you for your ID, if I stopped you, when I asked you for your ID, it's just to verify you. I went ahead and I verified you without your ID.
Thanks.
You never been arrested before?
I've been arrested before.
What were you arrested for?
I've been arrested for...
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm technically, because you're resisting me, because you're kind of like not helping me out, not cooperating with me, I can arrest you for that.
Because technically, because you're kind of like not helping me out, I could arrest you for that. And they wonder why people hate them. They wonder why people hate their guts. I could arrest you because you didn't do what I said, when I said, how I said. But this has a plot twist at the end of it.
I'm not going to do something like that. But
you're not going to do something like that? But the other guys do. You're the nice cop who's just telling him, I ran your plate and I got you anyway.
I'm giving you a heads up. I'm letting you know that that's what could have happened.
I'm letting you know I could have arrested you. Hey, Tom, Bill, I'm letting you know I could kick the shit out of you, just to let you know, okay? I could kick the shit out of you, but I'm not gonna, okay? I'm the nice guy. I could beat your ass though, just so you know. Okay. It's just like you wonder why they hate you.
The point in telling you what's going on over there is so that you understand our perspective. We're driving around, we're patrolling. If it's a little suspicious, I'm going to make contact.
That's good.
Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the chat. OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. If the cop looks at you and he decides it's a little bit suspicious, he's going to make contact with you. You don't get to be free. If that cop figures what you're doing suspicious, you're not going free. You're not. No. He thought what you were doing was suspicious.
What's going on over there is so that you understand our perspective. We're driving around, we're patrolling. If it's a little suspicious, I'm going to make contact.
That's good.
If it's a little suspicious, I'm going to make contact. If it's a little what's suspicious?
That's what I'm doing here.
All right, cool.
That's what I'm doing here.
Appreciate
you understand
it.
that?
Good job.
All right, man. You take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble.
God bless you. God bless you.
Same to you, man.
MAGA.
Huh?
MAGA.
Hey, MAGA, you're not immune from the police state, prison state, death state. He still gets on a leaderboard with how many arrests he gets every month. They still have coins if he kills you that they get. They still got the murder coins. Depends on how many people you kill. You're Latino, so you're brown skin. That might be a different murder coin than if they kill a black guy, or a white guy, or a woman, or a dog, right? You're not immune from it because you're MAGA. MAGA. Look, he was so wanting to make a connection. We're like, hey, man, I'm friends with you.
All right, cool.
That's what I'm doing here.
Appreciate
you understand
it.
that?
Good job.
All right, man. You take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble.
God bless you. God bless you.
Same to you, man.
MAGA.
Huh?
MAGA.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then after.
MAGA. That was just so.
You understand our perspective. We're driving around, we're patrolling. If it's a little suspicious, I'm going to make contact.
That's good.
And that's what I'm doing here.
All right, cool.
That's what I'm doing here.
Appreciate
you understand
it. Good job.
I want to hear this
All right,
MAGA
man. You
thing
take
one
care
more
of yourself.
time.
Stay out of
God
trouble.
bless you. God bless you.
Same to you, man.
MAGA.
Same to you. Huh?
MAGA.
MAGA.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then afterwards you'll find out why.
Boss, that's not how this country works. Bro, listen,
So now that you know he has this idea that he's American, he's a red-blooded American, like we all are, right? That he's coming from this perspective from the right, that the way this country works is that you guys are here to serve me, which is fair. I actually agree with this perspective. The cops should be there to serve you.
Once again, this
listen,
is a privilege for you to drive.
I'm very passionate about this country, bro.
Yeah.
Okay?
And so am I, because I served it. I went to Iraq. So am I.
That's good.
All
Right.
right.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, sir.
So I
Listen,
don't
let's make
understand
this easy, bro.
What is it?
You serve me. What is the reason of the stop? And then I serve you,
We're not
please.
going to go anywhere. We're going to keep going around.
Boss man.
Stay in the car.
All right.
Okay, so whether he's MAGA or not, when the cops pull you over, if you don't give your license, registration, and proof of insurance right when they pull you over, then they're going to go to violence. Because they ran his license plate and ran his license through his license plate, then they spared this guy. But if you do this wrong, if you fuck this up, you're going to go in torture cuffs and you're going to get drugged down to the dungeon. They're going to impound your car and steal your money. Worse than that, you're going to face charges of resisting, interfering, or obstructing because you didn't bow down and lick those boots. Lay down, boy. Get down here and lick these boots. Lick my boots. That's not how this works. You're going to give me your license, then I'll let you know why I pulled you over. You know what? Take the power from that dirty cop because that cop sucks. That cop sucks. I mean, put a 1 in the chat. That cop sucks. What you do is cop comes up to your window. Here's my license, registration, proof of insurance. Don't throw it at him, but I throw it. Okay. Then you say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. Now, no matter how big of a DICK that cop is, you own him. You own him. If he says, get out of the car, take it from here, flip it open, Show him Pennsylvania versus Mims. You can barely see it because it's in yellow. I'm on a green screen. Pennsylvania versus Mims, that you have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. Then just slide down and show him. And you can even state, I'm going to be filming, officer. It's my right to film police, but I understand I got to get out of the car. So please respect my rights. Get out of the car, hands up. Don't say another thing. The guy's going to pat you down, put his dirty paws all over you. Just let him do what he's going to do. Get through it. Get through it. Get through it.
Mr. Officer.
All right, understand our perspective.
I do.
Before you say anything, the reason I stopped you, because it was a little suspicious.
So he stopped him for no reason. So he's actually justified. He's justified because the cop stopped him for no reason. I'm suspicious of you. That's why the cop stopped him. It's a Terry stop with no probable cause because he's in a car. And if they don't have a dash cam that shows there's probable cause, well, they could say the dash cam malfunctioned, like in Heather Chandler's case.
I understand that too. I was like, what the hell I was suspicious of you too, man. I'm just parked up, coming down with my bag. You saw me. We looked at each other.
If you ask me something, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
You being all defensive makes me a little nervous, makes me a little worried that you're in that area you're up to no good.
Daddy. Cops are now our daddies because of drugs. Because of drugs, because the war on drugs. Their first mission is to enforce the war on drugs. So he thinks he has to be your daddy. I don't know what you're doing over there. I'm suspicious. You could be doing drugs.
When I asked you for your ID, if I stopped you, when I asked you for your ID, it's just to verify you. I went ahead and I verified you without your ID.
Thanks.
You never been arrested before?
I've been arrested.
This is the part of the trifold. Cop says you ever been arrested? I invoke the fifth. You don't say anything else. See if you can actually do it and not say another word. See if you can not say another word after that. Just don't say another word. You're not a civil rights activist. That's not what you do for a living. You go from point A to point B and you do your job and you got your kids and you got your life. Your job's not to fight. Your job's to send me that video. And you showed that you clowned him. Which I got a video a couple of days ago. Editor still hasn't put it out. I sent it over to him. Still hasn't been out yet.
What were you arrested for?
I've been arrested for...
And now you're going to say... And he put, feel me, whole lot of life shit. Like, you know.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm technically, because you're resisting me, because you're...
Technically, because you're resisting me. Listen to the ego on this pig.
Kind of like not helping me out?
Because kind of like you're not helping me out to railroad you. I stopped you for no reason with no probable cause.
Cooperating with me?
You're not cooperating with me. There was no probable cause to stop you, but you're not cooperating with that.
I can arrest you for that.
I can arrest you for that. Even though there's no probable cause, I can just arrest you anyway because you resisted me and my tyranny.
I'm not going to do something like that.
I'm not going to do something like that. See, I got you giving you a hand. I'm helping you out. You're here now because of me. And you're welcome.
But I'm giving you a heads up. I'm letting you know that that's what could have happened.
You know.
The point in telling you what's going on over there is so that you understand our perspective. We're driving around, we're patrolling. If it's a little suspicious, I'm going to make contact.
That's
and
good.
that's why I'm doing here.
All right, cool.
That's what I'm doing here.
Appreciate
you understand
it.
that?
Good job.
All right, man. You take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble.
God bless you. God bless you.
Same to you, man.
MAGA.
Huh?
MAGA.
You give your
Boss.
license, and then after...
Hey, Barrel Goose, I brought you right back, man. I don't know what was going on. I brought you right back, though. Okay, so this is hot off the press. This just came out, and I got no one's seen this yet.
Money, baby girl. My name's in.
Nobody's seen this yet. Only a few people. This hasn't gone viral yet for my editor. This has not gone viral yet. But this shit right here is about to go viral. One of our guys, one of our people, one of Team DLZ sent this to me. This is hot off the press, and this is only going on Facebook right now. But watch what happens here.
My name's in on it. Because this is my home, I pay the bills, the mortgage in my name. I'm just trying to figure out why when I pull in at 1 o'clock in the morning that there's a police officer at my house. Officer, what's your name and badge number, sir? What's that? Name and badge number, sir?
No, what are you doing?
Name and badge number, sir?
It's Case
Case. Badge number?
659.
His name's K-Smar. That's his name.
That's it? All right, thanks.
What's his badge number?
Case
Case. Badge number?
6596.
6596. K-Smar 6596. Internet, do your thing. K-Smar badge 6596. I can't see the patch. This guy's at this guy's house. His wife.
That's it? All right, thank you, sir. Why were you dispatched out here tonight?
I wasn't dispatched.
Why was you called out here tonight?
Let me come over.
One more time, what's your name and badge number?
Case Smart.
And you're putting on your uniform and everything?
What?
Yeah, y'all just got them fucking.
You're disgusting.
My son's in here sleeping, and
Disgusting, bro.
Vanessa, I'm filing a lawsuit, and you know I got the money, baby girl. My son's in here sleeping right now, and there's an officer that just got that. Hey, so what's the time, officer? Can you tell me the time right now?
Dude, she asked me to come over, bro.
Officer, can you see the time on your wrist and tell me what the time is right now?
And I can't tell
You are a servant.
Yeah.
I pay my taxes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the time is right now? And you're putting on your body cam that you took off to fuck my old lady.
I didn't have sex with her, man.
Is there a body cam that's been put on? Look how sweaty his face is. Has there been a body cam that's been put on since you've been here?
Put a one in the chat if you think K-Smar was banging this guy's chick. Put a one in the chat if you think K-Smar was banging this guy's woman.
Vanessa, on my son.
You're crazy,
Sit down, baby
bro.
girl.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Hey, you can see your way out. Whoa, hey, one more time, officer. What was you dispatched here for?
I already told you, buddy.
It's K-Smar 6596. Where was that? C-A-S-C? I don't know how you guys are spelling it.
Money, baby girl. My name's in on it. Because this is my home, I pay the bills, the mortgage in my name. I'm just trying to figure out why when I pull in at 1 o'clock in the morning that there's a police officer at my house. Officer, what's your name and badge number, sir? Name and badge number, sir?
No, what are you doing?
Name and badge number, sir?
It's Case Smart.
Case. Badge number?
6596.
That's it? All right, thank you, sir.
He's zipping up his fly. Just got done. The guy's wife, the guy's kids in the other room. I mean, how are you feeling right now? You come home. Let me be honest with you. Cop or no cop, I come home. Some guys with my girlfriend or my wife, I'm shaking that guy's hand. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for what you taught me. Just because he's a cop doesn't change what she's going to do. You can't, I'm not mad at him at all, man, if it's me. Thank you, dude.
Why were you dispatched out here tonight?
I wasn't dispatched.
Why was you called out here
She
tonight?
asked me to come over.
She asked
One
me
more
to come
time,
over,
what's your
bro.
name and badge number?
Dude, she asked him to come over, bro. Did you hear it? He may be a cop, and on this channel, not a lot of us like cops. This guy's your friend. He did you a service, dude. Well, you got a kid, so it's different, but yeah.
And you're putting on your uniform and everything?
What?
Yeah, y'all just got them fucking.
You're disgusting.
My son's in here sleeping, and
Disgusting, bro.
Vanessa, I'm filing a lawsuit, and you know I got the money, baby girl. My son's in here sleeping right now, and there's an officer that just got that. Hey, so what's the time, officer? Can you tell me the time right now?
Dude, she asked me to come over, bro.
Officer, can you?
I mean, listen. Wanda Meese is in the chat, everybody. I know. I'm so glad you're out, man.
See the time on your wrist and tell me what the time is right now.
And I can't tell
You are a servant.
Yeah.
I pay my taxes.
Yeah, I was here serving your old lady, brother.
Can you tell me what the time is right now? And you're putting on your body cam that you took off to fuck my old lady.
I didn't have sex with her, man.
Is there a body cam that's been put on? Look how sweaty his face is. Has there been a body cam that's been put on since you've been here?
No.
And that's
I mean, he was there banging, but apparently the big controversy is that he was on the clock. So let me show you the guy's name, because we got to get into this. I mean, we got to find out. Here's the thing for us as people who don't really love the cops. We got to find out if this guy was on the clock. And if he was on the clock, then we can get him. So it's here. Here's if you guys want to go crazy on the internet here, Dale Burton. Sorry for your situation, Alan. Sorry for your situation. I would also sue Crawford County if they knew he got fired from Case Police for the same thing, but sue anyway. Crawford County is known to hire crooked cops. That's why they call it Crooked County. All I know is the Crooked County I'm from there, but moved out of there, and they haven't changed. She's trash, bro. She's for the streets, bro. She's banging dudes in your own house. Don't be mad at him, dude. Don't spend 1 second being mad at him. That guy's your friend, man. He did you I mean, he's not your buddy, but he did you a service by letting you know where you don't want to go, what you don't want to do, that you're involved with the wrong people. You're involved with the wrong people. All right, let me see. Do I have another one? Let me see if I have another video. Let me see if I have uno mas. Do I have one more that I screen recorded? I think that I got that one. Got that one. I think that's all I got. I think that is all I got. Just for right now. I got to do a couple shorts for the editor sometime tonight. But again, I didn't see the super chats. I saw a couple of you guys super chatted. Thank you, man. Thank you. I know I usually am like, let's get some super chats going. I didn't do any memberships or anything. I just wanted to watch that Pam Bondi debacle and show you guys that it's left versus right. It's a game. It's a charade. It's not real. It's to distract you from what's really going on. Is they're locking people up in the millions and then putting them back out on the streets, and it's ruining our culture and ruining our society because we're always trying to play catch up with those people who are far behind. But it's not a couple, it's millions and millions. That's what they're doing. Listen, I love you guys, man. For the glory of Christ was here. Good to see you, Jody Shiloh, Brittany D. Good to see you. Let's O TVO. Jennifer Hill was here. Was Danelle Brown? Dar was in the room. Claudette. Good to see everybody. Tyrone, good to see you, man. Good to see everybody. Listen, I hope we kept it civil, kept it positive. I got to get the flock out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm going to set a live stream tonight for tomorrow morning, so you guys will see I'm going live tomorrow morning. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for coming. Later, Gators.